Greetings and salutations, friends. Behold, the technological advancement of Grand Theft Auto. It's beautiful, stunning, magical, and impressive.
Beautiful. Yeah, that's something you could say, I suppose.
Oh, GTA. Today we'll have a bit more of a focused episode because we have one triumphant topic where we both get to say, we told you so. We both called it. This would be awful. This would be terrible. And then we're, no, it should be fine. It's just remastering old games. It'll be okay. No, it won't. No, it won't. And then we'll cry about Jurassic Park Evolution 2, which is an absolutely awful sequel, quote unquote, and a roadmap of everything you should never do when continuing a video game.
That might take a while. There are many things that you shouldn't do that you'd think would be obvious, but lots of people are like, let's do it anyways.
Just like with sounding, Kyle, there are many things that should be obvious that are not.
Tragic. I'll get my pencil sharpener.
Let us begin then with the GTA Trilogy Remaster. Now, we talked about this already where we looked at the trailer and how it looked absolutely awful, and how you could see that they weren't really improving the graphics so much as they were potatoing it up. Like they were taking all of the jagged pixels and kind of massaging them into looking more like Play-Doh, really, rather than anything else. And that was only the beginning of it. It doesn't just look like shit, it apparently also runs like complete garbage. And that is when you can actually get a hold of it, since shortly after launch, Rockstar removed the trilogy from their storefronts and also made it impossible to play it as they started ripping out all of the files they forgot to remove, including copyrighted music and the hot coffee mod.
Actually, wasn't the hot coffee thing part of the original code? Like it was supposed to be in the game, but then they pussied out?
Yes, and it's still in the GTA trilogy as well, and now they're trying to remove it, because, you know, they got kind of sued for that the first time.
Whoops.
Whoops.
Oh my goodness. Honestly, when it comes to like remastering something, like you only need to remaster something if it truly needs it, and even so, what you should be focusing on is just simply touching up and making it run on modern systems. That's really all you need to do. Polish it up, give it widescreen support, the little things, and then just like preserve everything, even the bugs that aren't game breaking, of course, because a lot of things become actually part of the charm when you play a lot of older games, like certain exploits. That was the one thing that the CNC remaster did right, is they left the sandbag exploit in because it was just funny. You could build a sandbag, and because sandbags were considered neutral structures, the AI wouldn't even run them over with tanks. They're literally impervious to tanks. They just stopped. They were like, what is this?
Yeah. See, I mean, this was just an unbelievably lazy remake to begin with. Like, that's one of the core problems here as well. They weren't interested in remaking this because they figured it needed a remake or because it would be better or anything like that. They just wanted a cash cow here. They just wanted an extra injection of munmans. As you can tell by the fact that, again, they didn't even go in and remove the hot coffee files. Like, holy shit. How does that even happen? How do you forget about that? Like, yes, it was a massive lawsuit, but, whoops.
It's honestly, it begs the question, like, I work in an indie team, so it's actually much smaller, so, it's harder for things to slip by, but I wonder how messy things are when they're bigger. Like, I'm sure we all remember hearing the story from the Skyrim developers, when they were asking and interviewing one of the 3D models who was making the pots and pans, like, so what did you think about working on this game? He's like, I don't know. Like, I was just making pots and pan 3D models. I don't know why, or what they were for. Like, a lot of people don't even know what they're working on half the time. And so I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, most of the people working on the studio either A, never played the Grand Theft Auto games, B, didn't even know what they were doing, Like, and that's very obvious because when you look at these characters, because I remember playing. This is San Andreas. This picture is from, and I remember playing this at a cousin's, and oh, it was like a spicy game to play back then because it's very risque, it's very violent, it's very brutal, and I just don't remember her looking like that because I think that's a character. I think that's supposed to be a female character, but it looks like a dude, like a child. Oh man, it looks
Well,
bad.
like that's a character which is unrecognizable straight up
Yeah, I don't
from
even
the
know.
actual original character.
Also, what's wrong with his lips here? Like, those are huge. This is almost cartoonish.
Almost.
Oh, excuse me. This is absurd. There we go.
Like the graphics, you can kind of blame that on just people being shit at porting, I guess. Like they were given this, it just dumped in their lap, and they were like, we don't have the expertise to do this. Like a graphical upgrade, shit, we just control C V control V the code most of the time, frankly. And that's very obvious too, but not only the coffee mod, but there was also a bunch of copyrighted music in the originals. Because back in the day, nobody gave a shit. Like we didn't have the rules that we did now. You could play copyrighted music on YouTube. You remember those old like PvP clips from the World of Warcraft days, which was just a bunch of copyrighted music and nobody cared.
Montages, yep. Where they'd be
Yep.
like, oh, look, they'd be playing whatever was hip back in the day. Some sort of metal or rock. It's a Forsaken Warlock, of course. If it's got that
Yep.
one on.
Obviously.
Oh.
But in the end, it didn't even matter. That's true. It did not matter. But here it does matter. And so they disabled it, but they didn't take out the music files. They put in a script in the radio program that made it skip the music files. And of course, the moment somebody saw this literal .text document, they were just like, delete. And voila, copyrighted music blaring from the speakers in Grand Theft Auto again.
Whoops. Bit of a mistake there. I don't know. It's such a disaster. Like, think about there have been good remasters, there have been bad remasters, but when they're bad, they're really bad. Like, look at Reforged. It broke a classic game and ruined its legacy somehow. Like, that's impressive. This game basically is so bad that they couldn't even stomach to keep it on their storefront. And honestly, it's a miracle they even let it get up there. Like, it's in such an atrocious state. Never played it, but just looking at the footage, the frame rate loss, the rain. When this game, it rains, oh my god, it looks atrocious. Like, it's embarrassing. And the fact that they were like, yeah, no, this is in a presentable state that we can ship this proudly. Because do they have no quality assurance? Like, for God's sake, like, did anyone in-house actually play the game and went, yeah, this is serviceable?
I'll send you another beautiful one as well, where here you can actually see the texture blocks placed on the screen. You can see the edges of the textures.
That's pretty bad. Not uncommon in an older game, because back then there was lots of different issues with 3D graphics, but in today's age, my god. And what the hell's up with that little squiggly line there?
those are the dividers. Like, it looks like they drew them on in MS Paint afterwards by freehand.
Yeah, no, that looks like it. That's about as good as I can freehand draw with a mouse if I don't have a tablet. Like, little jaggedy. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. If they released a somewhat good, decent remaster of those Grand Theft Autos, I probably would have picked it up just to revisit them. Even though I think, the franchise is a bit overrated. But still, like, it's such an abysmal state. I mean, granted, the older Grand Theft Autos have so much more charm than the new crap. But I don't know. It's disrespectful to the fan, it's disrespectful to the IP, and it's a disservice to the great works that came before.
It's
It's
hand-drawn graphics, Kyle. That's what it is.
it's terrible. As Arch is really pushing that one. I see you in chat there.
Yep.
Oh my god, though. That's bad. Like that's
It's a nightmare.
like, dude, modders do better than like, and I'm talking like novice beginner modders put more effort into it than that. Like they'll actually look like, how do I make a perfect curved line? They'll be like, oh, you need some tools to, you know, bend the line a little bit and make it look a little less jagged. Maybe have some sort of stabilizer active or something. You know, things like that exist in today's world. Even if you draw it with a mouse, I could draw a straight line in that actually. There is such a thing as stabilizers for helping with that stuff. Did they just like who did they have do this? Do we know? Who did this?
Some poor random ass porting studio that is so far in over their heads they can't even see the surface no more in all due likelihood. And of course, also the Rockstar Twitter account has been absolutely hammered by refund requests now for days and days and days. And all they do, like poor bastard who runs this account, as he can only put out platitudes like "We thank you for your patience and understanding," even as the howling mob is breaking down his door. Like, please, no burning.
My god. It's absolutely terrible. I do
They
feel
had to
bad for
rip
the
down the
support star
entire
guy.
launcher too. That's the best part. So all of the other Rockstar games, because you know they force you to use their launchers to play the video game, you goddamn
You
bot.
know, I
All of it's
hate that.
off.
I hate that bullshit. Paradox does this, Total War does this, Creative Assembly, where they're like, yes, it starts up another launcher. Now I can see the use for that for
Hmm.
like mod enabling things, but they throw in some other pointless crap, some advertisement bullshit they cram down your throat. It's like, dude, just use the Steam integration. Like Steam or even like, you know, Origin has things for that kind of crap to just start your game. Like, criminy sake, what are we, like barbarians? Everyone's in their obsession to use their custom launchers. I mean, at least it's not as bad as Epic's or Ubisoft's. Oh, those are bad.
It's absolutely magical. And of course, the refund requests are currently being denied because this is fine, Kyle. This is okay. This is not a problem.
Now that's pretty bad. The problem is there's so many refund requests that they're gonna hemorrhage so much money. Like they're gonna go deep into the red.
And the best part is, guess what? Take-Two is also launching DMCA takedown requests against GTA modding sites. The timing.
Wow. Oh boy, this is really a cascading issue now. Oh, their
Yes.
PR is going to be hemorrhaged so bad. Take Two DMCA's GTA mod save file. Take Two DMCA's more. Okay, so what specifically are they going after? Removal suggests another GTA remaster may be coming.
They're targeting a whole website which hosts a bunch of GTA mods and specifically save files for GTA 4, apparently, specifically. So the theory now is that they're working on remastering 4 as well, which hopefully they'll give to a different studio. But knowing how the video game industry works, they'll give it to the exact same studio and they will deliver the exact same dog's breakfast as last time.
Oh man. I think 4 was the last one GTA that I thought was kind of cool with like the sort of simulated aspects it had, and then it sort of went off the deep end for me. So watching them piss and ruin 4 will be kind of a nice thing to see, I suppose. Christ.
4 was not a Grand Theft Auto game. Like,
It was
4
special.
was the point at which I knew that the series was a little bit over, frankly. Because 3 was such a Grand Theft Auto game. It was just graphics. Like, we're gonna do all of the crazy, batshit, insane stuff. You're not playing as a hero. You're not playing as a sympathetic character. You're playing an absolute ass knuckle, a criminal, a shit. And it's funny as you have to deal with even bigger shits driving around and doing horrible, awful crap. I mean, the most sympathetic character in the trilogy is probably oh god, what was his name again? The last guy, the black dude.
Uh, TJ or J or I don't remember. I don't remember his full
Something like
name.
that.
Chat, help! We always rely on chat to
Help.
save the day. You know what's funny is Saints Row also was kind of one of those silly, like they went with the silly, crazy stuff. They too fucked
Yes.
up in their own IP. Oh God, have you seen the trailer for the new Saints Row? Yeah, we talked about that
I
the other
have.
day. CJ.
It's not Saints Row anymore. Not even close. TJ knows it.
No,
But
CJ
yeah, no,
Franklin. Carl
the
Johnson.
uh, the the new Saints Row has nothing to do with Saints Row anymore. Like it's nothing. You're not playing criminals anymore. They're not anti-heroes. They're not the villains. They're supposed to be the goddamn villains. And now they're like, no, we're a band of progressives fighting for freedom. We're so diverse. We even have our little hacker chick over here.
You know what's funny?
No.
They're doing the diversity thing, but if you look at the actual previous Saints Row, because I didn't play the first one, but I played the second one, and I played the third one and the fourth one. And you know what's funny is the cast is actually already diverse. Like they have men, women, they have Hispanics, they have blacks and stuff like that. And you know what's great about it is you don't even care because it's not like going like we're diverse. It's like whatever. These are cool characters. Check them out. And they were cool.
Yeah,
They were likable.
they're literally just the characters. There's no focus on how diverse it is, and that's the thing. Back in the day, again, I have made this point so many times, and the problem was this was what gave the SJWs the in because we entertained their backwards ass argument at all. But video gaming has literally always been diverse, and nobody gave a shit because it was just the natural character flow of the games.
Yep. Oh man, it's such horse shit. This forced diversity bullshit that continues to happen. The parasites work them. They work their way in from the bottom and they work their way up to the top. And it's already happened in almost everything else. It's just sad to see. And I'm not sure if that's reflective of the quality, but I think it is tethered to it and to a degree because the artistic vision is also lost. I don't know if that's necessarily an issue with specifically GTA Remastered. GTA Remastered was just incompetence and ineptitude on a scale unprecedented that we haven't seen for quite a while, which is good that we haven't seen that frequently, but
the reason why so many of these old games were so good was because of the passion, the drive, the interest. People wanted to make these games. They wanted to make these characters and tell these stories. You can look at the GTA remaster and you tell me if anyone working on that project wanted to make that game.
Like seriously, you raise a good point there. How come they didn't hire people who were big fans of the franchise? Honestly, that's where I pull most of the talent that I use on our own project. I pull from fans because they're passionate, they're driven, and by and large, they're going to give it their all. Because they too are passionate and care about the IP, rather than hiring some unnamed, schmuck who, okay, they have, some professional training, but like they don't really care beyond it's just a job. There's no passion, there's no soul in the work they do. It's just clear cut and dry, and it lacks any flavor.
Just a bunch of hippies somewhere, undoubtedly in California, control-C'ing, control-V'ing, import, like literally, you can look at these models and you can see what they've done. I swear to God. They've taken the original 3D model, they've imported it into Maya or Max or something, and they've literally just hit the upgrade poly count button, like smooth edges button, a couple of times, and then they've exported it again.
I imagine they tried to touch it up a little to put on the facade that they were doing something. But yeah, no, it certainly looks like they didn't really do much. Like, these models look like garbage. Like, honestly, this picture right here from this article, look at his arm. Look at how it bends in like that. Does the fabric look like it's actually fabric? No, it doesn't look like it at all. In fact, it doesn't even look like it's connected to his torso. With his blank expression.
That's the thing, though. Again, Oh, this one. This one's a beauty also,
Oh
right?
God,
You see that
more.
character there? That is the perfect example of what I just said. That is literally just the add polygon tool freaking out, not detecting the shoulders, and going like, "Right, I'll just smooth this out," and smoothed out his neck and the shoulders, and so now you have that.
Oh my God, he's like a little pyramid man. His
Yep.
head's a little pimple at the top. That's kind of beautiful. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I could see this being one of those quote unquote cursed mods where somebody's like, hey, let me mod a game and let me add like Thanos' cock to it, like they did with the Halo mod, where they just made a bunch of silly, funny, weird stuff, you know? But this is an
Mhm.
actual official product they're trying to sell for you at a
Oh yeah,
premium.
this is the full price goddamn remaster right here.
It's got their seal of approval on it, their logo slapped on it, you know? Like there was a time when I remember seeing Westwood's logo, you know, the old school, and they
Hmm.
would say Westwood Studios proudly presents, and then the Red Alert 2
Yep.
theme would play with Hell March. And you felt like those developers were actually proud about presenting this game to you. They're like, yeah, we made this, check this shit out. Like, I can't imagine them doing that today. Like with Rockstar games, it'd be like, proudly presents, and it shows this little pinhead dude.
Proudly presents this monster. Look at him.
Hey, hey, hey. Oh my God, look at him. He looks like he's, you know, like he's survived a horrible accident. And now he
But
has
on
to
the
live
bright side,
deformed.
he's happy to be here, you know? He's not hating on it. He even takes a moment in the morning to paint his nails bright goddamn white.
Yeah, dude, those nails are, you know, you raised an excellent point. Those nails are impressive. Like I think they're lighter. Like they're actually glowing. Oh my God,
Yep.
their shaders are bad in this game. They're
Yep.
look at that. The nails in the dark on his right hand side are obscured by shadow because the light source is cast from over here, which the light source touching that guy's white tank top is not nearly as bright as the nails that are obscured by the light source from the fat man. Like what the hell? They're the same brightness. Oh no. That actually bothers me.
Good. It's supposed to bother you.
It's like his fingernails aren't responding to the game's environmental lighting at all. No, no.
I think at one point this has almost got to be done on purpose. There's a plan at work here, Kyle. I can't figure out what that plan is, but there must be some kind of idea here where they're like, if we do this, everyone will talk about our shitty video game, and suddenly, I don't know, pre-orders of our next GTA will skyrocket. I don't
I
know.
don't
I
even
don't
know. You
understand.
know what they could be doing? Here's the long game plan. Okay, I figured it out. Let's make shitty games that are cheap to produce for like a couple years in a row. That we won't
Mm.
make much profit, and then we'll make a mediocre game that'll cost a little bit more, and people will be like, "It's the return of greatness." Return.
People will throw money at it. And in the meantime, they will also throw money at these terrible products because people are like, it's GTA. It's toots worth it, bruh.
Oh my God. I really doubt that. I just think that they're just a bunch of suits that don't care about the What the
Here's
fuck?
another good one.
Is that photoshopped? Hold on, I can't tell. That looks atrocious.
That's just fantastic. Like,
Ooh.
oh, hello, brothers. I'm out just riding my bike.
What happened to his arms? Some sort of accident happened. He got run over by a train. Oh my God, what the fuck? Dude, the hands, the fingers on the bike handles. Like it looks like they just sort of slid the model over it and rigged it to
Yep.
there. Like he's not actually
And then
gripped on. Like the fingers are just loosely clasping.
then broke his fingers one by one to curl them around the handlebars, and then had to break his arms to make them attach to his shoulder.
Oh my God, a part of me wishes I had a chance to play this disaster just to see it for myself, but this is bad.
As the chat says, hello, fellow black humans. I am a humanoid just like you.
I'm
Do
part of
not
the
mind the
hood.
way my arms bend.
Hello, fellow humans. It's an alien. Is this wait, is this a trailer for Destroy All Humans 2? I think it is. That's another example of a good remaster. The Destroy All Humans remaster was actually solid. What the hell?
Yeah, that's the thing. It shouldn't be difficult to make a decent remaster. It really should not. Like, hell, even the idea of touching up graphics. Alright. If you're gonna do that, do like the Mafia remaster, for example. The Mafia remaster did it pretty goddamn good. Like, it was a solid graphical upgrade to the original. Now, I would argue that 99% of the time, remasters are simply not worth it, because just go play the goddamn original, but even so, they put some effort in. Here, the graphical update did nothing but harm to the game.
Yeah, you're right. I saw the Mafia 1 remaster, and it actually is... I think it's borderline more of a remake, because they even changed the mechanics a bit to modernize it. I don't mind that. I think games actually need that, actually. For example, Warcraft 1, in my opinion, I don't care what Disco says, it's unplayable. It came out way before I was even alive, and I tried playing that piece of shit. Oh my god, you have to click the unit and tell it to defend itself. Otherwise it just stands there and dies.
Yeah. That's good, though.
That's atrocious. That's so bad.
Positive.
Like, that game should have gotten a remake. An actual remake. Warcraft 3 was fine the way it was. It ran on modern systems. It looked alright for the stylization of the time.
It's stylized. Like, there is nothing wrong with a stylized game. They still look good today.
Very true. It actually pisses me off. You need to fucking fix it. Make them stop, Arch. Use your subscriber count to bully them.
No. Warcraft is not my fandom, okay? Like, Warhammer is on fire. I'll move over to Battletech and I'll burn that down too. And I'm going to have to move over to Star Wars and Star Trek before I finally awash on the shore of Warcraft and go like, hello, brethren, I bring with me Tides of Doom.
What do you mean Tides of Doom? There's already arrived. Warcraft's already on fire and it's ashes now.
It's true, but that's mostly because of the company's actions.
See, what's really going to happen is Arch washes up on the shore and he's like, looks up and he's like, oh, it's already gone. So, the ruins are overgrown.
Looks up at the ruins. Time to pick up the pieces.
Gotta do some cleaning here.
In another 5 years' time, when everyone has forgotten about it completely, then I'll start doing Warcraft lore, and I'll just randomly add in reaction shots from that awful CGI movie with Ragnar Lothbrok being like, I am blatantly Ragnar Lothbrok, but I'm pretending to be Warcraft now.
What movie? I'm very confused.
Didn't you watch the Warcraft movie?
The Warcraft? Oh, that movie's awful. That movie isn't even accurate to the lore. Fuck, it's actually...
The movie's great, Kyle. Shut your
No,
mouth.
it's not. It's trash. The only thing that was remotely interesting to watch was the orc CGI for like 20 minutes before I got bored of it. I was like, okay, I'm done. I want to go home.
No, Kyle. No, Kyle. Ragnar Lothbrok is perfect for that role because he doesn't even pretend to stop acting as Ragnar Lothbrok. His behaviorism, his way of speaking, his mannerism, all of it is exactly his Vikings character. And he doesn't even try.
Yeah,
I
that
love it.
guy. That guy. Yeah, that movie sucked. That movie,
I'll
oh
just
my
use
god.
that all
Help
the
me.
time. Just reaction shots from that.
Help me.
That's all I'll do.
It was
I'll
so
tell the entire story through it.
It's like, yeah, we're gonna make a Warcraft movie, and it's gonna be based on Warcraft 1, and we might do like the whole like Warcraft 2 and 3. Thank God they didn't. Because it was bad.
They did not. They backed off from that burning potato awfully fast.
Stop being on the good stuff. Yeah, look, chat's even agreeing with Kib. They're like, yeah, Warcraft 1 is painful to play today. Those kinds of games do need to be remade so that they can be playable. Don't change anything. Don't change the story. Don't change the mission design. That's fine. Just make it playable.
Right. If we're going to have to do this, Kyle, if we're going to have to remaster it for your sensibilities, like,
yes.
Why don't you fight back? Then we need to change everything.
No!
The orcs, they are not invaders now. They are poor, disgruntled refugees fleeing from an oppressive fascist regime. The humans they're all black now, all of them, except for the ones that are female. There you go. We have a new Warcraft story.
Oh man, the Warcraft story is pretty cool with how the demons enslaved the orcs, though.
No. No, it isn't, Kyle. You know why? Because that was a cool story element back then. It's like, oh, they weren't actually evil? That's so cool. Yeah, except now that is the only plot point anyone ever uses. We need to view the long game here, Kyle. Yes, maybe nuking Japan twice was the right move. However, it gave us modern day tentacle hentai. Was it worth it? No.
Arch, get in the dumpster. Crawl in there. I've had it up to here with your bullshit. It's like, okay. Crawls in. He's getting snarky.
Let me let's get through some of these super chats then, and we'll move on to lambasting Jurassic Park for being an absolute enormous disappointment, because it deserves it. Hello, chat. We are going to engage with you now. See, what we should do, eventually, Kyle, I will transition to a position where I have internet, and then we can do gameplay streams with commentary, and we can just read the chat continuously. That'll be funny. You'll just be the person who reads the chat, okay?
You'll just be the person. This is like Razorfist set up with his little friend. Because his friend does that for him, too.
That. I was watching his stream yesterday, and I actually kind of like that setup.
That's kind of what I do to catch up. He does a good job of that when he behaves. Sometimes you have to yell at him.
Boag says, there is a public hearing happening in a couple of days that Ken Akamatsu has been warning about on Twitter. The promotion of gender equality plan will regulate manga and anime. Yes, it is, and there is nothing any of us can do about it. Anime and manga is just as doomed as the rest of the world, and
I'm
just gonna lean back. I am just gonna lean goddamn back. Japan has been backsliding for ages now. It genuinely has. It has been backsliding slowly but surely, year by year by year, as they begin to mimic us over here in the West. Even as we are yelling at them like, no, we're actually on fire now. Could you please not? They're like, oh, arigato, fiery dumpster. Ooh.
Oh, man. You know, this is a good thing, okay? This is a good thing. If Japan manages to fuck up and ruin all their anime, then by the time in 30 years when I'm done with my thing, there will be a big, giant open market. Be like, hello, Japanese.
Hello, Japanese. You haven't had anything cool for a while now, have you?
They're like, help, we're starved. Yes, starve them for content. Yes.
On the bright side, though, here's the thing. Japan does have far more vocal defenders of their freedom of speech than we had over here. Their artists are actually willing to stand up and argue the point, and they are willing. And here's the thing, too. On the one hand, I have never been in the favor of the politicization of hobby mediums, because I don't think it's a good thing. It takes away from the focus of those things. The focus should be to make a cool story with cool characters and an interesting plotline. However, as the Fire Force mangaka demonstrated, you kind of have to. You have to. Our opposition has been doing this for years and continue to do it again and again and again. If we do not embrace those mangakas and artists who are like, no, I am going to stand up. I am going to make a political comment because we have to. Then we might as well just simply pack it all up and surrender. It's literally fire with fire. It's a shit solution, but it is the only solution we have.
Essentially, yes. Yeah, no, we do need to be more vocal about it. In fact, ironically, you bringing that up, actually, last night I was in an argument with some SJWs online about, like, you can't keep the fandom, because I had pointed out a tweet that Razorfist recently did a video talking about SJWs and infiltrating in Battletech, because it's happening to Battletech right now. And Razorfist actually did an amazing thing, which not very many communities did, and he just went out and straight out attacked, or well, not necessarily attacked, but he pointed out these people and who they are. Like the BattleTech, there's 3 now Twitter accounts that I'm aware of that claim to be representing the BattleTech IP. They're not. They just put that name on them. They're like, one is the Art of BattleTech, and like, I post the Art of BattleTech. You're a talentless hack who just copy and paste other people's PNGs. Like, I can do that. And then you credit the artist. Like, you're using that to gain followers, and then you twist and you try to stab people in the back. That piece of shit, in particular, is the same fucker I saw go after Arch when Arch was under attack with doing the text thing. Because they attacked Arch from the text thing. They attacked text too, but the main focus was Arch. Arch was definitely a victim in that case as well. And this fucker went after Arch there too, and started attacking him there. So, they're already in the community. Find them, expose them, and make the world see them for what they are. Don't let these fuckers hide. You find one, show it to me. You find one, show it to Razorfist. You find one, show it to Arch. They don't get to hide anymore. We're done. Like, the age of this bullshit is over. Their time's up. So yeah, this kind of crap has been happening, and it's happening all over the place. And it's on us, not just one person, but all of us to actually gatekeep. Because what gatekeeping means doesn't mean preventing them from buying the stuff. It means preventing them from getting into our community and sabotaging the community. Breaking apart the community and being like trying to ostracize people, like, for example, No Sacred Cows, like, oh, he's a racist, kick him out. And Abaddon 380, he's not black enough, kick him out. Whatever. Like, you can't let these people in because they'll do that. They're going to play the divide and conquer game, and you can't let them win.
Yep. Now, we have some art backed up, which we're going to post on the BattleTech Reddit in not too long, and I'll make little community posts here and on the main channel urging people to go over there and like the post, like the art, and to, well, basically shout the fuck down anyone who tries to bring in outside bullshit.
Yep, keep the contemporary politics out of BattleTech.
And the chat is asking to Razorfist collaboration when? Well,
soon, TM.
Let's just say that Razorfist is a skittish little foe, much like Rakita, but I do think I have a hook in him now. We will just have to reel him in slowly but gently.
Yes, we do intend to invite him onto the show. Because, yes, honestly, having him speak is, like, he is the forefront, the largest BattleTech content creator. So, he is the big king. He's got his little crown, you know. Well, little, big. But yes. It'll be good to have him on. And then we can talk about cancel culture and the bullshit that is happening in BattleTech. Because he is definitely aware of it. And he has seen it. So he knows his shit when it comes to that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Beowulf19 says, 20,000 words into writing my own tabletop fantasy, and have you guys to thank for kicking me to start doing it. Gratitude from a guy in MN. Well, that's good, man. Now just keep writing, and then start commissioning art for it. It's only going to cost you a few $100,000. So keep going.
Wait, what is he starting art for?
A tabletop fantasy that he's started writing on.
It's going to take a while, but be persistent. Start little, start small.
You just gotta keep chipping away at it. Don't look up and see the mountain in its entirety. Just keep chipping away at one piece at a time.
Yep. I mean, I've already spent almost $1,000 on art assets for the for art test and tabletop and making miniatures because we're actually beginning production stuff. And it's not an easy road, but here's the thing: there are tools to use. For example, Tabletop Sim, use that for testing. It's actually great. It's free. Well, you got to buy the software, or any sort of online software, Roll20, whatever. Play with a friend. You know, get a close friend. You know, have them if you're uncertain. You know, have them sign an NDA, etc. And just keep writing it down. Write it down. Write it down. Don't give up. You know, keep chipping up. And when you fall down, take that fall down and use that as a crutch to learn from. Failures are opportunities. It's not the end of the line. That's where you really start to learn. And good luck.
It's a long and hard road, but it's a worthwhile one too.
Arizona will be occupied. Arizona's a pretty state.
Eric Adjust asks a question. Arch, how long would a video about the events that led to GW to Axe Swarm of Fantasy be, and would you consider making one? Maybe with some Warhammer scented candles and coins to motivate you. See, that would require a lot of digging. Because it wasn't just one event, it was a very slow degradation. And it's because GW just stopped caring. And that's the issue. They started whining about falling sales numbers, and I'm like, okay, well, we can't share anymore. But the reason why they didn't sell anything was because they didn't release anything. They weren't putting out any new army books. They weren't putting out any new content. Like, the last major content that Warhammer got was the Ogre Kingdoms. I think, like, it's got to be like 15 years ago or something that they got like a major new thing. Beyond that, they got nothing. And the few things they did got was usually very tone deaf. Like when they remade the Wood Elves, for example, from an army of bow-focused rangery dudes to like a melee-centric charge army. Like, that was a very weird transition all of a sudden.
He's thinking. You can always tell. He
Or
makes the
maybe
thinky
one
sound.
day. One day. Too busy wrangling Kyles today, though.
Wrangling Kyles. What do you mean? Kyle's
Yes.
literally the one who holds the ship together. He's the sticky
Breaking
glue.
them down, tying their little hands behind their backs so they can stop installing Chinese spyware in their computers.
Oh my god. Listen, what I'm doing for you now is helping you in the future. This is for your good. After all, mister, you constantly praise the Chinese government all the time. You shouldn't have any problem with a little bit of Chinese spyware.
All I'm saying is, when the Chinese finally occupy us, I will be on the winning side.
Yeah, because you'll have the spyware already installed. Plus social credit score right there.
Umret says, all I can say is God bless the dude that didn't remove the hot coffee from the remaster. I mean, if nothing else, I attribute that primarily to incompetence, but I like the idea of malice in this case, frankly.
See, I have a suspicion that he might have done it out of hatred for the fans as well. Because the thing is, it's not necessarily a blessing, considering these graphics. Can you imagine what it looks like with these sort of arms and ligaments? Like, it might be a horror show, really.
Actually, it'd be kind of funny. Just two messes of broken limbs humping each other violently.
Clipping through each other.
Netchnev says, Arch, have you seen the Humankind update? New unique art for each unit dependent on cultural region. Looks amazing. And a Day of the Dead event. That does sound mildly intriguing. Well, the art is cool, if nothing else. But Humankind has a lot of issues. I played it for a good, 40 hours before I did my review on it, and I figured I'd gotten pretty in-depth at that point, but honestly, the real issues of that game comes, in the second and third playthrough, as you start seeing all of the little holes. Because initially, it's a really good Civ game. It's got all the civvy stuff in it, it's got religion, it's got culture, it's got so many things that Civilization usually charges you for, and it's got that cool combat system too. But once you stop being blinded by the light, in a way, you start seeing the problems. Like how the ships are completely useless. How the technology goes completely retarded later on in the game, where you just start zooming through the ages. Like you just finish your first rifleman unit, and oh, I have nukes now. Or you see the Eurofighter Typhoon shooting down biplanes. Like, oh, this is fine. Or the scouts. They didn't bother implementing a scout AI for the player, so it uses the AI's AI for automatic scouting. So you put the scout on automatic, and it will see through the fog of war every single resource deposit on the map and beeline towards it. Like,
wow.
It is not weird that the game is currently on mixed reviews, which is kind of sad because, again, the core gameplay mechanics, the core of Humankind is really, really solid. It's just that people expected more in a way. It's interesting because they've kind of managed to sweep their own legs with their own expectations. Like, see, I'm doing the Kyle thing now because I'm struggling to fully illustrate what I'm getting at here. Oh,
Good, keep rocking in
every
circles. Now you know what
yeah,
it's like.
kind of.
You,
Everything about humankind was kind of promising to be the next level of civilization, and in so many levels, it almost close to succeeds, but it also makes the failures all the more apparent and
oh
all the
yeah.
more frustrating because you're so close to glory, and then something tiny but retarded and frustrating comes and sweeps your legs out from under you.
Like that one thing I know bothered you, and it kind of bothered me, was the culture thing. The culture switching kind of is a neat concept, but the problem is cultures are very much shaped by their environment. And
Mhm.
so it should be like, okay, if you have a settlement in the desert thing, it should be able to like, okay, you can have a Kushite culture, an Egyptus culture, or like some sort of like Ottoman culture. Like you can evolve into various like Arab or desert like climates. So you can sort of evolve that way. Rather than being like, I'm in the desert, Vikings. It's like, it bothers me.
I'm not a fan of the cultural system. Like, theoretically, I like the idea of being able to select anything and everything to suit your current strategic and tactical needs, but there needs to be limitations. It could. Going from the Egyptians to the Vikings, I can kind of see it because stuff like the Sea People, for example, in the ancient world, it has a potential if you add on a little bit of extra stuff, make the cultural carry over a little bit more. But going from the Spaniards to the Japanese is just a joke. Yes, we're an incredibly expansive, imperialistic, exploratory society, and now, oh, we're hardcore isolationists. Yes, yes.
Flip on a dime, as they say. Oh my goodness. Honestly, I wish it worked more so in cultural spheres rather than just simply being completely loose. So it's like, okay, if
Hmm.
you're in this sphere, you can pop over to that sphere and bubble over, bubble, bubble, as you build up. Like, I think that makes more sense to work in spheres rather than just have it work in like a
Yeah.
completely generic open system. Like,
So your first sphere could be Egypt, right? And then your next sphere moves over to the Middle East, and your next sphere moves over to India. Then you get access to Japan,
yeah, you
something like
transition
that.
over. So that way you actually have to strategize a bit more and go like, okay, like this is my long-term goal. I want to get to Japan, but like how should I go about it? Should I, keep going like, towards India sort of culture and transitioning that way, or should I head north and go towards like more steppe tribes and, the Scythians or
Hmm.
the Mongols?
Yep. Now, Humankind deserves its mixed rating, and part of it's sad because again, Amplitude Studios, man, for me, I feel like they're always on the edge of making something I'll really love,
Yep. Yep.
and then they sweep their own legs at the last second every single solitary time.
Still my favorite game from them is the Endless Legend game. Like I want a sequel to that as well. That sort of like
I
weird
hate that
fantasy
game
one.
so much because
What?
I look at it and I love the aesthetic, I love the style, I love the gameplay, and then it's like, let's have combat. I'm like,
Listen, listen,
no,
listen. Hold
please
on.
let me
Hold on.
choke you.
The combat is not it doesn't exist. You just click auto resolve. That's how it's meant to be played. You're not meant to play that. That was a mistake. They just left that in by accident.
I I so want to like have an interview with these people. If I wasn't a Swedish neo-Nazi, I would
Swedish.
absolutely try to get an interview and be like, so what the hell were you thinking with the combat? What was your line of reasoning and logic here?
Yeah, I'd like to know too, like how much crack were you on when you made that?
They'd probably just look at me empty-eyed and go like, none of us remember that that design meeting.
Man,
Like
we were
it
so
just kind of
high.
happened.
we were so... Oh, that explains so much. Oh
Yeah.
man.
Moving forward, Chnishnev says, no, that was the one I read. Sorry. Umret, sorry, Arch, I had to lots of weird Russian Cyrillic language thingy bobs.
Copy paste into
Now,
Google Translate.
I was about to say you are a very lucky person because I have the wherewithal and the patience to go and try and Google translate that.
Control C V.
It's
Do
probably many, many, many N words in sequence, which YouTube doesn't pick up on.
do the Rockstar thing, you know? Control C, Control V, that code.
No, Google Translate can't translate that. It's too cringe, so that can't be translated. I apologize. It's Google's technical limitations.
That means that he typed it and he couldn't even type it right. That's embarrassing. Especially if you're native.
It's too cringe. It's actually just too cringe. Something with fangs and sharpening. No.
Oh my god, I know what it is.
Stefan Knizek says, I shall commit to heresy. GTA was never my thing. Saints Row was always more comfortable. Hopefully they'll never remaster Saints Row.
Oh, you poor fool.
Poor fool, indeed. GTA was... Grand Theft Auto was literally video game the edge at one point. Like, it was the edgiest video game. And I loved it for it. Like, the first GTA was just you moving around randomly killing people, and that was the entire video game. Like, even the quests were retarded stuff, like steal an entire truck full of fuel and detonate it randomly because it'll be awesome. And it was awesome. That's all it needed to be. Awesome. But Saints Row, the first Saints Row tried to be Grand Theft Auto, and it kinda succeeded, but it got good with Saints Row 2, you know, where they just said to themselves, F it all, we're not gonna try to be GTA, we're just gonna go a little bit crazy. A little bit crazy. And that was very, very appreciated. Everyone loved that. And then they did Saints Row 3, which was probably the culmination of Saints Row. Like, it is the perfect Saints Row video game where they throw everything out the window and just go hard retard. And it is beautiful.
Yeah, 2 and 3 are, like, great. I think 4 went and did it in the wrong direction.
4, they painted themselves into a corner, and they admitted as well, where like we can't go anywhere from here. We've done everything, so now we're gonna do aliens and superpowers. But the problem was, when you can fly and run at the speed of light, the fuck use do you have of cars? And so the entire core gameplay of Saints Row just disappeared because you never drove anywhere because it was slower than flying.
And the best part is, whoever's working on the car stuff added more mechanics and features to customize your cars in the game that hadn't, like why use them?
Yep.
Oh, man. That poor guy. All his hard work, wasted.
Wasted. Lucky Leo25 says, Hey Launch, well done on your super chat on Razorfist Arcade last night. We all need to stick together against the anti-fan horde. That is correct. Poor little Razor lad. See, they don't read their chat like we do, Kyle. They're objectively inferior to us in this respect.
I mean, easily. We're always going to be superior no matter what, and who we're being compared against. That's a given.
This, too, is true. I did enjoy that little stream, though. I did. And I'll see, some of the best stuff we do, too, is when we just do free flow with the audio just like this, so we should focus on that more. But I can't stream, and I kind of want to do the streaming, you know, but I can't. So
I've offered to help you stream gameplay. Like, we could stream Genshin Impact on your
channel. People just see your awful gameplay, and then some people think that I'm really bad at video games, and I can't have that.
I'm better at most games than you, save for like Company Heroes.
One hell of a lie.
God, this little sweaty tryhard in Company Heroes, I swear to God.
We've told this story a couple times previously, but it bears retelling. I hadn't played Company of Heroes for like 3 years at this point, and Kyle was playing it, and I saw my good friend, Faggot Dog, in there. And I was like, well, Kyle's a bit of a stranger, you know, I don't like him much. He seems a little bit homosexual.
Rude.
I do want to play some COH2 after years, so we loaded that in, and we were playing against Kyle and some other random people whose names escape me. And it was just sad. Like, it was actually just sad. I hadn't played in 3 years, and I was up against Kyle, and I was just waiting, like, kind of, gonna fight me sometime, bro?
Like, I'm
Like,
still
go all
capturing
my things.
points, it's hard. Gotta right click. Oh my god. His little sweaty...
I had an M8 Grey out. No, I think it was a Sherm or something. Like, I rushed an armored vehicle and just moved it into you guys' base, and that's when the whingy noises started real hard, and I started to realize, like, man, we have a small skill gap here.
Yeah, because later we find out that fucking Faggot Dog, as he's called, and Faggot Barge, as he's also called now, these two sweaty piece of shit tryhards were like, they'd play the game to such an absurd degree competitively that they were like insane. So we just casually play like, haha, tank explode, and they're like, the meta. oh, yeah, it was very painful. It was like, wow, it's like playing against like several hard AIs, except they're snarking you in the chat.
But that's the fun part, though. See, that's not even the worst part. If you'd ended up playing against us in Dawn of War 2, that would have been real fun. Oh my god, we try hard at that game so hard. I was literally on the 2v2 leaderboards. Me and Old Dog were really high up there. And during one period, we were like in the top, I think like 90, 80 people in that game in 3v3. Because we were good in that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, you two
I
talked
missed
about
the
Dynamore too.
Tyranid meta though. Oh, back in the day when you could play triple Tyranid and it was literally invincible. We stopped playing it because we realized there was no way to beat it. There was actually no beating Tyranids back then. Ah, it was so much fun.
We did play Dawn of War 2 a bit again when we actually revisited it, and I remember feeling bad for the people we went against, because I had Alldog and Arch on my team, and these little sweaty boys. Oh. See, I know you're sweaty. I know it. Like, when it comes to
that was kind of disgusting, too, because we were just playing random lobbies and bringing in people and just being mean to them. Like, it was not nice.
We should do that again. Like, we'll call it the bully stream. We beat the crap out of chat.
It was not nice. Stefan Kniezek says, I mean Saints Row 3. I hope they never improve Saints Row 3. I didn't even think of the Saints Row reboot. Oh, well, God. The thing is, the reboot is going to fail, and then they're going to be, what did we do wrong? I know, we'll just remaster 3. It's going to happen. It's gonna happen.
Wait, who holds on? Who's all? Is it THQ Nordic that's running the show here, or did this get bought up by somebody else?
No way. THQ Nordic would not do this. THQ Nordic have actually been really good dudes by and large now. I'm pretty sure the Saints Row stuff is owned by Volition fully now.
What? I used to like Volition. What happened over there? No.
Yeah, me too. They made Free Space. One of my most favorite games, like, ever. And yeah, no.
What happened? They also made Red Faction. That was a fun little, like, sort of 80s sci-fi shooter themed game. That was kind of cool.
Yep.
What the hell?
They don't do that no more.
That's fucking disappointing, because I was like, yeah, no, Volition, like, I'm pretty sure they made Red Faction, they made that, they made Saints Row, like, they made Free Space.
Yeah, no, it's not THQ Nordics, because, like, THQ Nordic they're kind of trying to chisel out a little niche market for themselves, where they're basically trying to remake, in a way, old favorite games. For example, they're working with Jagged Alliance 3 right now, which could be really cool. Mm-hmm. They've re-released the Star Wars Jedi Knight collection, which is really cool. They're working on Superpower 3. They're also the ones doing the Expeditions series right now as well. And they're also the guys doing Destroy All Humans too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I was actually interested in that one because they did the first Destroy All Humans remaster, and I was like, oh boy, is it going to be bad? And it actually was very faithful. I got past the demo section because I only had the demo disc for that game.
THQ Nordic seems very interested in actually doing some justice to the old game.
Which is good. It's kind of like Night Dive Studios. If you've been following the development of System Shock, like the remake for that is actually really good. Played the demo, and I'm sold. Hardcore sold on that. That was good.
Mm-hmm. They're also working on Outcast 2, which is another one of those like blasts from a past where
Oh wow, yeah, I remember that.
I couldn't believe it when I saw the announcement. Outcast 2? Really? Somebody played Outcast? I remember that as just a super derpy, ultra niche kind of rando game that released years and years ago to mediocre acclaim. And that's the beauty of it, because THQ Nordic are making these games because they want to. They're not making these games because they think they'll be amazing hits. Like, they're remaking Comanche games. You remember those from the, 90s when you had attack helicopter video games?
Hell yeah, dude. There's one I had on the
Yeah.
Sega Saturn where he plays an Apache and you just go around blowing up Soviets. That was fun.
Mm-hmm. Now, THQ Nordic are good boys. I like them. They're good boys. They're probably raging SJWs, but I hope to never find that out.
It's kind of like, I actually spoke with RG about this a bit more later, and he kind of had the same opinion I do. I don't really care if someone's an SJW or not. I only care if they let that bullshit, that contemporary bullshit, seep into their work. Once they start seeping into the work and they start outright lashing out at me, like, that's when I'm like, yeah, no, I'm not going to give you my business anymore. I don't mind if somebody has a different opinion of me. I cannot tolerate those who cannot tolerate me. Like, that's always been my standpoint. I can tolerate anyone, but the minute they're like, I can't...
Karl Popper said, you can't be tolerant towards the intolerant.
Exactly. If they're not willing to tolerate your existence, how the fuck can you tolerate theirs? They leave you no choice. They leave you no... Okay, calm down. They leave you no choice. Spicy. Desert Strike, that was
for a reason, Kyle.
Desert Strike was good.
All right. Glowy says the people that run these AAA game developers, aka the investors, don't know how to make a good game or what a good game at all, or what is a good game at all, I guess. They look at spreadsheets and say not enough profit, fire the actual good expansion workers for college grads. Yes. And on that note, let me deviate us from the super chat, reedy, funnery, doodle, deedle, daddle, diddle as well, and bring us on to the second topic of today. See, people don't care about us talking about video games, Kyle. They care about us speaking to them and going on retarded little side rants. That is the future of the ArchCast in 7 years when Arch has figured out how to move all of his things to somewhere with internet.
I mean, this is basically a podcast.
Yes. Well, it's in the name.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's about. It's about the banter between different people, and we bring on guests. We brought on one so far. And hopefully we'll have more guests, because that was fun.
Guests, plural, like uno.
Listen, thinking of the future here, Arch. Don't think so short-sighted. Come on, look at the tomorrow.
The next upcoming guest will probably be a leather fetishist who says many mean things about Warhammer, by the way. That'll be a lively conversation, because I'm going to have to call him on some of his bullshit.
I can't wait to see you two. And listen. Okay, I'm pretty sure he just does that to... I'm not going to say who, but I'm pretty sure he just does that to just flavor it up. Like, when I made my first Battletech lore video thing, I actually did that as a nod towards Razor's thing, where I just leveled crap on Warhammer, and then I sent it to Arch, and Arch is like, eh.
Well, the thing is, I do the same to MechWarrior because it is an objectively inferior IP, obviously.
They're both silly.
The very idea of MechWarrior is basically just a rip-off of, like, World War II with legs on it. Like, the catapult, it's just a bomber. It's like, let's put rockets on it because we're dumb.
Okay,
Kyle,
Arch. You've already messed up. Like, you need to... MechWarrior is a video game license owned by Microsoft.
Kyle, that's the point. I don't care. That's the entire idea. That is why I'm going to
Battletech is the
as
IP.
MechWarrior at every opportunity.
I'm gonna hurt you.
MechWarrior, Kyle.
Listen, Battletech isn't dead yet. And look at this way. Where, you know, the Games Workshop authors basically low-key attack you behind your back? Well, the Battletech author, one of them, actually came out on Twitter and came out and supported Razorfist. Like, yeah, no. Like, this cancel culture bullshit is bad, and basically coming out in support of Razor. That's such a tone shift.
It is. We'll see how long it lasts.
The thing is, they already are trying to infiltrate. Like, that's one thing I pointed out. I'm going to be an alarmist in this regard. HBS's Battletech, that often even Razorfist talks about very favorably, he also acknowledges that there's SJW bullshit in there. There's SJW bullshit in there. I like the game. I love the game. But I hate that bullshit. There was no blondes on launch. Bullshit. 2, the whole fucking, like, not other binary thing, pointless, just stupid controversy crap. And
other
then
binary thing, the brilliant Muslim mecha engineer who's a woman, because, you know, that's allowed in Muslim society. Yeah, totally, get an education, woman, it's fine.
You know what Battletech really, that game should have touched up on, is the Caliphate worlds and how they treat women. Because they do exist in canon. There are worlds then under the houses that are Caliphate worlds. And they are shitholes. They've rebelled because the leaders of the houses were female at some point.
Though, I will say this. Nobody better say anything negative about Brown Waifu. I am still so pissed off by the fact that the game doesn't allow you to capture Brown Waifu alive. You have to kill her. That is horse shit right there.
You're completely right. That game is stupid. You're playing as a mercenary company, but yet you have no mercenary ability to choose your client or backstab them, which is something mercenaries do.
No, screw that heiress woman. Like, she never offered me jack, okay? But Brown Waifu, if Brown Waifu would just agree to be body pillow, she could have stayed in power. It wouldn't have been a problem.
She's like, I need your seed to have an heir. And Arch is like, hell yeah, brother.
Brown Waifu is objectively superior to that other chick. Like, absolutely. Victoria Espinosa. She's got a bit of fire in her, you know? Again, objectively superior to whoever that other chick was. I don't even care.
Kamehameha or whatever the bullshit was.
Kamehameha. I don't care.
And the whole... I do like how, like, her uncle betrays her and, like, usurps her throne and is like, I'm trying to prepare our nation for the inevitable, like, upcoming, like, crisis that's gonna occur. And she's like, no, you don't need to prepare for things because preparing for things is racist.
That was the problem, though, because, Santiago had a genuine good reason for seizing power in some ways, but he was also just unambiguously an evil ass munch.
They didn't write him at all.
The game was trying to have it both ways. They were trying to have him be kind of a tragic villain, yet at the same time he's also a tragic villain who runs massive ass genocidal concentration camps you need to liberate. Like, okay, hold on, Santiago. How is this a part of your preparation process again?
I need
bigots.
to prepare for the invasion by killing everybody that can defend our nation state. Yes.
Yes. Oh, it's so dumb. But we shall not hold the sins of the retarded father against the delicious brown waifu daughter.
I do like how they do that contrived thing where you accidentally kill the Tarian Concordat dude's son. And then he's like, I'm gonna stop. It's like, dude, calm down.
Calm down. He wasn't even that cool of a son to begin with, bruh.
This is clearly
I know.
This is clearly a setup. And he's like, no, my character is too linear for that.
It does that anime thing as well, where you get like two options and neither one is the obvious one. Like explaining to him, like, dude, your son was a douchebag and he kind of forced me to, okay?
Yeah, it's also a false flag attack. Like, they clearly painted you, and you have proof that they painted you as that, because you have logs.
You could literally just prove to him, like, no, your son's the cock here. Like, this is not my issue, bruh. Like,
we were false flagged. Like, stay out of the conflict. And he's like, no, I'm getting involved. Well, at least they did do the right lore thing, and the Tauren Concordat immediately disavows him. Like, he's gone rogue. But still.
Yep. It had a lot of good character ideas. It was just that they skipped so many chapters in those character ideas. And that's really dumb, too, because it's not like they didn't have the time. All of those worthless-ass, grindy fucking filler missions. They could absolutely have taken in some actual lore building into that, but no.
But I do agree, though. Like, the way a BattleTech should progress is in a form of more role-playing video games. Because I think HBS BT, BattleTech, was actually the right step where the BattleTech franchise should go in terms of video games. Role-play games, where you can actually experience the universe. Problem with that game is you didn't really get to experience the sort of neo-feudalistic societies that have developed now since, society has regressed in a way. But, you didn't experience hardly any of that besides some of the nobles. Like, you don't get to see anything. And that's kind of a shame, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, moving on from delicious blonde... Blonde? Well, it would have been more delicious if she was blonde. I have a thing for the Gyaru types, okay? Blonde, delicious brown girls, top shelf right there. Sadly, the Bastard to Hairbound Screams have no taste in women either, which is tragic, but oh well, such is life. Moving on to Dinosaurs. Oh yes,
Oh,
Jurassic Park 1. One, Kyle. It's not a sequel.
Hold
it's
on.
a goddamn mission pack.
You missed one thing. They don't even call it Jurassic Park, a game. They call it Jurassic World.
That's true. It's even worse.
See, Arch and I had a bit of a conversation about this. Now, the big thing for me, Arch, you never played the Jurassic Park Operation Genesis game, but this game it's a simple park sim game. You can click on your guests, you can click on the guests and see what they like, and some of the guests like fun and exciting things they want to go on the tour. It's an old game. In Jurassic at World Evolution, the first thing that annoyed me is I click on the guests, nothing happens. They're not there. They're not real. There are no guests. My park is empty and filled with hollow 3D models that walk around and point at trees. You scroll and you watching those little fuckers, and all they do is just point off at there's a restroom building I had, and I scrolled in on stream, and they're pointing at the restroom building going like, wow. It's like, yes, wow, we have a restroom building. Congratulations.
I also hate the fact that they're never in the viewing galleries anymore. In the first one, you would see just a stream of people storming into the viewing galleries to watch the T-Rex and shit. In the other one, I zoom in on the viewing galleries and there's like one dude in there, like the lone dude, bro, who's actually interested in dinosaurs, like staring out at the T-Rex. Everyone else is just standing outside the restrooms like, oh, yes, yes.
Oh, man. You know what's also terrible?
The biggest attractions in that game, the biggest money earners aren't even the dinosaurs. It's the goddamn shops. It's like, I need to spend time not on making a T-Rex or a cool-ass dinosaur or a cool-ass enclosure, but by fixing up the specific setup of my slushie stand. Shall I sell slushies or root beer? Do I have an aquarium in there, or do I have a fossil display?
You can't even look at those things. Like, when you sell them either, because the one thing that you could do in the other game is the one thing I will say, before we go too negative, I will say this, I do love the classic Jurassic Park buildings, and I also love how when you build the trail, like it's like the movie and they drive around, that's cool, and you can sit in the car, that's also cool. The cars also tell you about the dinosaurs, that's cool. Now back to shitting on the game.
Oh yes, the tell you about the dinosaur thing was really cool. That was a nice touch.
Like when you sit in the cars, they actually tell you about the dinosaurs. This is a Dilophosaur, the thing that killed Nedry from the movie. I rewatched the movies because of this, because the original 3 trilogy. There's only one Jurassic Park movie.
really hard urging to actually rewatch the Jurassic World one at least, because I love the way they'd presented the aquatic the Molluasaurus in the pond. Because it was adorable as shit. And I was looking forward to making that, and I was playing Jurassic World just to get that. And after 5 hours of grinding hard, I just gave up. Because the Molluasaurus cost like $2 million to find one fossil, and you need like 6 of that. And then you need to build this enclosure. And oh my Jesus, it drove me mad. And even when you get it, it doesn't do anything. It's just a Rapiosaurus that just wanders in the water and you can't even see it eat shit half the time.
You can't even like
Dinosaur.
interact with them in the same way, which is annoying. And on top of that, interacting with the dinosaurs is almost fucking impossible because the game has even more point and click or not or clicker cookie clicker things you have to press, and the user interface is terrible. You can't access your vehicles from the user interface. You have to click on the park buildings, and the camera slides you around. Like it doesn't have good controls at all.
And it's so busy. It is way too busy. Every time I think I've got a second to just zoom in on a dinosaur and watch it a little bit, or play with the enclosure a tad, put some rocks down there, one of my dumbassosaurus's smashes their heads together and like, I have a concussion, please help me, take me to the medical facility.
Oh my god, the concussions. I want to throw myself out a window every time. Like, I just, like, heal one of the dinosaurs after clicking several buttons. I'm like, finally. And then they drop them back in, and somewhere else somebody has a concussion because they fell down and bunked their head.
And as your park grows larger, it gets worse and worse and worse. And there's a thing in the game. I swear to God, there's a mechanic somewhere that ramps this gay-ass shit up at certain points in the game, because I had those dumbassosauruses in the same enclosure for hours and hours and hours, and no problems. And then suddenly they're like, we're going to start fighting constantly now. And we're not just going to do the territorial stuff that animals do in the wild, bat each other across the head, nobody gets seriously injured. No. We're going to break each other's bones every single time.
Oh, man. The thing is, the Jurassic Park universe actually has a lot of important roles it played on gaming, which is funny because it helped inspire Half-Life actually with Trespasser. But the fact that like this Jurassic Park game, it's not a very simulated game. Like I don't feel like it's God Sim where I build things and then I watch and adjust prices of things. Like there's none of that. Like restrooms in the first Jurassic Park, if you start charging money for people to use the restroom, people are like, that's bullshit. But as your park rating rises, they're like, well, it's only $10 to take a shit. Could be more,
Could be more. And I do have to shit.
You don't do any of that. Like, when you customize the gift shops in the Jurassic Park Operation Genesis game, they get balloons instead. They actually walk out with the balloon.
Mm-hmm.
And they're actually carrying the balloon they purchased. And you can click on them and they're like, I like the balloon. And you can click on them when they're like, trapped. And it's like, what's their opinion of the park when they're, the T-Rex is running around. It's like, I'm scared for my life. You should be.
Good, you should be.
You're going to be dead soon. Oh, God.
I hate the only communication you have with the guests in Evolution 2 is the park rating. And they punish you for saving their lives. There's a goddamn massive hurricane coming in. You're going, all right, people, get to the emergency shelters. Wee. And 2 seconds later, the hurricane hit, but you get most of the people in cover, and then your park rating plummets because your little ass bugger fucking guests are in the bunker safe, whilst the dinosaurs is scratching at the plasteel bulwark, going, this is really boring. I want to go out and see the dinosaurs. Yeah, they want to see you too.
Oh, every time there's a storm and you have to tell them to go into the emergency shelter, your park rating instantly drops, and your money drops. This is something
because your scientists are still sucking your money well dry as this happens.
And the thing is, the way the game progresses, time is silly. Because it's not like in days or anything like that. Like, no. Like, months are going by in, like, 30 minutes.
Oh,
so it's like...
Like, your scientists cost you, like, $20,000-$30,000 a minute.
My God.
You know what? You ask them to do their job a bit too often, and then like, I'm angry.
At least they got rid of the park sabotage mechanic if you didn't do missions for different departments. That was dumb.
See, I preferred that because there's a certain level of realism in competing branches sabotaging if you ignore them for too long. But my random scientist being like, you haven't sent me on a $75,000 vacation now. I'm going to open all the gates in the park and commit mass murder. Okay.
That's true. honestly, they keep trying to go after the first film where Nedry basically, he basically backstabs InGen because he doesn't get the pay he wants. He wants more money, right? And so he turns
Mhm.
out the park systems to basically take the embryos and try to get them off the island. And then his plan is to come back, pretend nothing happened. Like, he doesn't actually want anybody to die, and he doesn't want to lose his job. He wants a fuck ton of money for just easily, betraying the company. But the park incident happens because all the security systems fail, and they don't reboot.
Yep.
And that's the problem. The thing is, they're trying to put that sort of feeling in there that the Jurassic Park film has, and it's so cool. And with the corporate sabotage thing that fucks over the park, but the way they do it in the gamified sense is it just comes off as cancer.
Yes. And every time, like, when a Tyrannosaurus or a dinosaur breaks out of its enclosure, that should be like an oh my god kind of thing. It should be a big deal. It should be something special you have to deal with. Instead, it's not. It's just another, oh, you stupid. Get back in your hole. Because there's a giant red marker on the map showing where it is. So you gotta zoom on out from whatever it was you were doing, zoom over to the response facility, click on the facility, click on the helicopter, click task, click dinosaur, wait, carry dinosaur back into pen again, and weld shut the hole in the wall. Like it reduces what should be an awesome ass adrenaline pumping kick ass moment to a absolute piece of tedium.
Yes, and this is the problem. Instead of being the park director and you're running the park and you have heads of office like, Muldoon from the movie, who's the park warden from the first movie, or Dr. Sattler being the representative of like the geneticist, or maybe even using Henry Wu, they have you do everything, micromanaging every little aspect of everything. That's not fun. It doesn't feel like you're the director of a park and you're playing a park sim. It feels like you're the micromanaging like intern that has to do all the little itty bitty microscopic details. You don't get a chance to, admire your park and admire your visitors as they come in and, look at the dinosaurs and they're wowed for the first time for seeing dinosaurs, living, breathing dinosaurs. Oh man, it's such a shame. I really want like a good
And
Jurassic Park sim game.
And so many of these things, the worst part, so many of these annoying things can be turned off in the sandbox mode, like the fuel. The fuel mechanic is so infuriating because it's just another thing you need to click on. Like, we're out of fuel, come here and manually click on it, manually click on the buy fuel button. You can turn a lot of this off in the sandbox. However, guess what? In the sandbox, you have unlocked no dinosaurs. You have to unlock all of the dinosaurs playing the tutorial campaign, the Chaos Theory mod, and the challenges. Or you will have nothing.
Yes, you want access to the classic Jurassic Park look? You need to beat the Chaos Theory campaign. Kill me. And you need to beat the part 2 where, it's the Lost World, where you have to go to San Diego to unlock the biome. I don't mind, like, some of that, but the problem is the progression of the game is such a pain in the ass. Like, I was trying to get the Tyrannosaurus Rex. If anybody's seen, who's been on my channel, who's seen the stream for that, we did 2 streams. Both are like 8 hours to 9 hours. And by the time I finally got the Tyrannosaurus Rex, my save got fucked. And my soul broke. My soul broke. I finally figured out how everything worked. The game was painfully designed. It's poorly designed. I'm about to get the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and my save breaks. That kind of tilt, with all the culminating issues, breaks your drive to play it. Like, I kind of want to go back and beat it, because I still want to like the game, but the game is like, I don't like you. Like, it's actively trying not to be loved. It's like, fuck you, player. It's like giving you the middle finger, and it's like smacking you and calling you rude things while you're trying to be like, game, I just want to love you. Why do you hate me?
Every time you feel like you're getting to a good space where you can make some progress in the goddamn Chaos Theory mission so you can get to the goddamn sandbox, it just pumps the brakes so hard, and you get a hurricane. That costs you like
Oh, fuck.
$500. Then you have to heal all of the dinosaurs, which costs you another couple $100. And then you're signed, and I'm exhausted, which means you gotta send them out, cost $75,000 for 2 minutes, and you're stuck. You are completely stuck in a money-sucking rut as you achieve nothing for an hour except maintenance.
You'd think a park would be profitable, but in this game, fuck, this park is literally barely profitable. It'd be lucky. No wonder why the park failed in the movie.
Again, because the guests don't come there to see the dinosaurs, they come to see the goddamn gift-giving facilities.
Yeah, it's like the dinosaurs take a back seat, and the guests have no individuality. You can't click on the guests. Like, there's a button. I know what button it is, because I played it again recently. You press C, and you can see the names of every guest pop up. You can click on them. You can see where they're from, what their opinion of the park is, you know, the 3 major likes they have that are their interests, and does your park appeal to them? This game has none of that. There's no people in your park. It's empty. There's nobody running your park. It's just you. And on top of that, the story, oh my god, the story is empty. There's no...
The
story's
story
bad.
is very much so like, hello, fellow Jurassic Park fans. Look, it's John Hammond. Don't you like John Hammond? We really like John Hammond.
I like John Hammond too. In fact, he's one of my favorite characters from the movie. But the other spared no expense, of course. And it seemed like they did spare some expenses. They didn't have a stand-in for Nedry. They didn't have a stand-in for Arnold. You know, the hold on to your butts, you know. There's no Dr. Sattler, no Dr. Grant, none of the classic iconic characters. There's some diversity hired chick and some other characters. There's no the Australian park warden, you know, Muldoon with the shotgun that made the spaz
Clever
iconic.
girl.
Clever girl. Where are these iconic, you know, characters that should be in this game? They're not even taking advantage of the fact that there are already iconic characters to use. Instead, they're using generic, bland, modern, boring diversity hires that have no soul. Oh, I was so annoyed with the Chaos Theory campaign. I was expecting to see Nedry be like this whiny, fat little piece of shit that keeps like going, you should pay me more, you know, something like that. No, none of it. There's none of it. There's no... It's missing the charm. It's like they absolutely forgot what Jurassic Park is. Ugh, it's annoying. Help me. Help me. Fix it.
It's awful. Ah. All right, let me do some of the more super chats too. Mulla Pot-Eater. Names. Stop being mean. Rockstar's janitor staff did their best with the time they had. Did they, though? I think the janitor staff could have done better, frankly.
Yeah, maybe.
Van Doom says, question, Arch. My players for my Skaven RP made their own red gobbo and started a goblin revolution against the orcs. Should they be rewarded or rewarded? You decide their fate, Great Horned One. I think they should be revolutioned against as well, because the revolution bites the hands that feed. Lenin was thrown under the bus, Kyle. As shall everyone else be.
Good. Under they go.
Stefan Knisek, a question for Kibbs. Yuck. Sorry. When Legend of Terrestria comes out, will you have the option to switch your graphics to GTA Remastered style noodly arms?
Our game isn't 3D. I'd have to have the animators make noodly arms. And then I'd have to explain to the team why we're funding this. So you see, guys. And they're like, so you want to waste development time and resources on making noodly arms for a meme? And be like, yes. Yes, I do. A meme that'll be dated by the time the game launches. Yes. Did you not hear me the first time?
Dated. Stop worrying so much about things being dated, Kyle, and just do it. Do it for the meme.
Do it for the schmim.
Do it for the meme. And Glowy says, could be also market manipulation. Invest in company, make sure next project fails. Before the project fails, hype it up, divest, and then short the stock or bet against the stock to fail. I mean, potentially. And asking them to make a remaster is a surefire way of screwing something up.
Yeah.
Then we have our resident swamp German, Jafar the Blade, saying, De skal beste hogtenner vinner, in Norwegian. And then following that up with Swamp German, which is an illegible language. Like, I can't even see the words on my screen. I can only see Swamp German.
Swamp Joyman.
Kyle, this is your problem, okay?
How's it my problem?
You were promising that we'd play more Wargame Red Dragon so we could play South Africa. You have failed on your promise. Because I still haven't played South Africa, and I still also kind of want to play the Swamp Germans again, just because of the pain it caused me.
We know what we should do? We should stream that on your channel, because you'll make extra supers, so you can collect the money on that. And we should play against chat. I'm sure that'll be wonderful for you. And me.
I don't think we have enough people who have Wargame Red Dragon.
Chat, sound off. I know you do. I know that there's tons of you, because I've spoken to like dozens of you, scores of you that cross over to my stuff, that talk about it. So I know the numbers are there. You want a full game? We can get a full game. Easy.
I'm pretty sure we
peasy.
can't. There's probably like one in there.
There's not one. Chat, come on. Chat, rise up. Rise up. Come on, hurry up. Let's go, fat little fucks. Like, eh.
Literally no one.
There's one right there.
Yes, it Hamster says, Kibbs and Art are like Timon and Pumbaa. No, I don't think so. I think that is a false analogy.
I'll be Timon, you'll be Pumbaa.
Reverse, actually.
I don't want to be a piggy, because piggies turn into ham.
Reguline says nope, Kibbs. See, nobody has it.
Look at all of the people that do have it.
Waking Kiwi says, clap that fat and cap cat trap. See, that rolls off the tongue.
See, look, and there are lots of them are saying they're bad at it. So that means we'll get easy wins, and our confidence and self-confidence won't be, dashed on stream.
Problem is, Kyle, you'll also whinge even louder at that, because you remember how you whinged when we were playing Dawn of War 2 and Company of Heroes? They can look at my screen.
They are.
And they can, Kyle. They can. They can see your goddamn screen, Kyle.
Those little backseat gamers over there, they're like, if you don't fucking right-click on that unit, I will scream. And it's like, what are you going to do? Left clicks on it. And like, just because I'm not particularly good at the games that Arch plays doesn't mean I'm not good at vidges. I always get that all the time when I'm playing something I'm actually good at, like black and white or something obscure. I'm like, wow, kid, you're really good.
You can't be good at black and white, though. That's the problem.
Yes, you can.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. I have been good at it. I've played these games so many times. That's your imagination. I can win black and white too, easy. And Battle of the Gods expansion, pretty quick, with doing military victory. No problem. I figured it out. The Kibbs breeding farms.
Easy.
That's not the easy way. That's the hard way.
The biggest challenge against winning a military victory is not winning a cultural victory first.
Listen, that's actually not too hard, actually. Because you just got to build a little army and start capturing the towns before they start migrating. Because, god dang it, they're so impressive. You start building some houses and, like, they look at their shitty little crappy village and like, this kind of sucks.
Basic accommodation? Crap.
Oh my god, I want to migrate immediately.
I try to build the biggest, tallest, most uncomfortable skyscraper I possibly can by just stacking the shittest buildings on top of each other, and still they come flooding in like, man, it's a big tower.
Man, I like Black and White 2 a lot for the features it has, and the city building aspect is fun. But I think Black and White 1 had my more favorite god mechanics. Especially like making disciple missionaries and the subtle things you do. It's a shame both games are betas. I hate that. They're completely unfinished. But they're fun games. I really want GOG to have them. Like, I also want to see like the Fable games see their way onto GOG as well. Including 2 and 3. Even though 3's kind of poop.
The only Fable game you want is the one with muskets, the gay one.
The 2? 2 and 3 both have muskets.
No, the homosexual one with lots of purple in it.
Lots of purple in it? Now I'm just getting confused. What does that mean? What do you mean lots of purple in it? What does that mean?
You deserve being confused.
He's like lots of color purple. It has lots of purple.
Chloe says, Gatekeep, be exclusive. If you can't define what something is and what it does, especially when you talk about a group, it will dissolve. Till you find a better solution, we will have to use the crappy solution till then. Yes, a violent exterminatus of everyone we don't like. Which is the only solution. One day this will include Kyle, but not this day.
Oh, tragic.
I look forward to the day we can uninstall Kyle.exe for his crime of installing Chinese spyware.
Listen. It was your idea to begin with. And I was like, fine, let's do it. And Arch is like, wait, I was kidding.
That's nice.
We'll play Genshin Impact, and then Xi Jinping will come over, and he'll be like, oh, thank you very much. Please come to my ghetto. And then we come over, and then he concentrates us to death.
Boang says, like Kibbs, like could be like another, like Terran. Like the sharpest fangs, like always, like Win.
Look, Boog, you only have one joke. And just because you're my little taco boy doesn't mean you're going to get away with that joke forever. Your days are numbered, Boog. I could just go into my server right now and hurt you, Boog. What are you going to do about it? Nothing.
He's gonna like you.
He's gonna... I can hurt you too. I'll make all of you hurt. And you won't even see it coming.
Eric just donates Danish money. Why haven't I? I do need to find an excuse to randomly ban Danish people at some point. Question to Kyle. Why? No. I'm reading this incorrectly. Question to Kyle. Do you think GW would have a case, I guess, against Raging Heroes and their not Eldar minis? Or would such a lawsuit be another chapter house?
I mean, Archer's guess is as good as mine. I'm not a legal expert, but if you're asking me specifically, what are they called? I actually need to look it up.
Raging Heroes. They make stuff
that look like Warhammer stuff, let me guess.
Heavily inspired by Warhammer IPs, yes.
Raging Heroes. Let's open it up. I just need to make sure this isn't a porn site so I don't get in trouble for bringing on Archer's stream. What was the faction called? They have a name? Because right now I'm looking at this, and I mean, it looks like generic fantasy. I don't want to pull it up because I don't know if there's any nudity in here. Haven't safely... Sci-fi. Sci-fi. Be under sci-fi. If I had to guess.
Kind of looking for pornography on my stream again. He keeps doing that.
I'm trying to make... They got some sexy looking models, though, but I don't want to get much in trouble. Wait. New car... Okay, look for something that sounds... Sisters of the Orphanage. Chaotic. Lust Elves. Hold on a second. Let's open that up in a separate tab. For later, of course. Research. Wood Elves. This is... What? I'm very confused. I thought this was science fiction.
Yeah. It is.
My brain hurts. I mean, whatever. No, I don't think so. Like, they're not the same models, at least not from the stuff I'm seeing here. I still don't want to open it on the stream because I'm not 100% certain.
It is heavily inspired by, but theoretically, it can be heavily inspired by. So long as they don't have the same names, it really doesn't matter. Like, theoretically, Games Workshop could make the arguments that their models are similar, but that's going to be a very difficult argument to make. Like, we want to own everything that looks similar to this. No.
Yeah, that's not going to really work out. Honestly, the fact that like they have a fact called chaotic, it's a different word. Like, thing is, you can get away with a lot, actually, when it comes to that stuff. Now, again, it does boil down to money on the table, and how much money are they willing to throw at the table, so to speak. Disney will throw buckets on the table if they don't like something, and they will bury it. But Games Workshop isn't Disney. They don't have those resources, and it actually does hurt when they sue too much. That's why they generally try to threaten people instead.
Yes, Games Workshop is far more of a bully boy than anything. They will happily threaten people.
Yep. I mean, they did an excellent job because they can bully people, and as long as some people cave, like, God, what's that one person called? I forget their name. Alpha Boost or whatever, right? They caved real quick and real easy, which makes it look really bad, so everyone else begins to cave as well. When one caves, they all cave, because no one has any spine. And honestly, I don't really blame people for caving because they're like, I don't want to fight them in court.
There was also the example with Chapter House, where Chapter House fought them and won on the vast majority of the cases, but they spent so much money fighting GW that they collapsed.
Yep.
That's the problem. Our
All
modern
those
day legal
resources.
system is not well suited to dealing with very large corporations with very large amounts of money.
But yeah, if I had to say just from looking at this, I think these guys are probably fine. They already know what to do. They're not calling it the same stuff. I would diversify the names a bit more, but I mean, they're doing that so that people can find it easy. And honestly, if I had to put my own opinion here, it's better that you buy from these guys than you buy from GW. As long as, if you like Warhammer stuff and you want to play Warhammer, that's fine. But I urge people to not give them money.
Buy from anyone that isn't GW.
Buy alternative models. Use stand-ins. Play with friends. Don't go to Games Workshop stores. Create your own communities. Start separating. The fact that that corporation has control over the community is bad for the community's integrity and health.
Nichnev says, Humankind also patched a lot of balance and tech. I might have to try it again at some point then.
Isn't there? Yeah, there's also an expansion coming out. If it does get good, tell me, because then I'd like to play. We could do some streams of that.
No, because if it does get good, I'm going to keep it to myself.
Why would you keep it to yourself? We could play it together, you greedy little fuck.
No.
No, I don't want to share.
Mark Shame with a very generous $20 says, Warhammer Plus is saved. YouTube has removed the dislike, making the new on Warhammer Plus videos the most liked videos. I know, right? Suddenly, when you can't downvote anything, everything becomes much more positive. Though, I will point out, you may have noticed some disparity in what channels and what videos the downvote feature has been turned on and off on there. Because the downvote button works for everybody else, like, on Hair channel, on everybody other channels. Weird.
It is quite peculiar, isn't it?
All of the small creators channels, they still have dislike videos.
I'm 90% certain it's because of megacorps and stuff, like Coca-Cola, for example, getting flagged on their cringe-ass fucking ad video.
I think it's part megacorp, but I think actually the major driving force here is the current Biden administration, because they have not put up a single video that hasn't been hammered into the dirt with dislikes. And the corporations have been whining for this for years, and nothing's have happened. But Biden is in office for, 8 months. Suddenly, YouTube's like, we're very concerned about our little creators.
The straw that broke the camel's back. Don't worry, if
they might be bullied, our little creators. Joe Biden.
Don't worry, when a certain blonde-haired individual, if he gets back into the office, I'm sure they'll rescind their decision.
Suddenly, dislikes are very important on certain accounts.
We value them, and we think that that people's feedback is just as important, and we want to demonstrate that. But we're only going to turn it back on for specific content that we help flag. By the way, please go downvote this video. Could they just hide it a little bit more? They're so bad at it. It's painful. YouTube's trash. They treat us like garbage. They're racist towards us. If you say you're black and trans, you have more rights than the rest of us. They're racist. They're fucking garbage. And the best part is, it's the only platform we have. Help me. There's no good alternatives. We're just gonna have to eat shit and die, I guess.
Yep. Until Elon Musk launches an alternative.
Come on, Musky boy, let's go. Come on.
Nuke Assassin 4 says, Greetings and salutations, Art. Been enjoying your Blood Angels lore videos. Keep up the awesome work. I do awesome work, it is correct.
He pours his heart and soul into that crap. He's like, what? It's not crap.
Shut up, Mech Warrior.
Look at that. You're going to be doing it too, Mech Warrior. Oof, makes me
No, I'm going to do Mech Warrior lore. I'm just going to call it Mech Warrior for the shits and giggles of it.
Actually, it's not a bad idea to do it because I think the Mech Warrior video game license is more popular than the actual
Wouldn't surprise me, that shitty little miniature scene.
Oh, he's
Garbage
getting
garbage inspired by 60s anime. Ugh.
Oh, here we go. Actually, yeah, you're actually completely right. It was, to my knowledge.
Yes, I know.
Just like Games Workshop was heavily influenced by Tolkien and Dune and everybody else.
No, Kyle. Orcs and goblins were entirely goddamn original. See, I have it on good authority that the original creators of Warhammer never even read Tolkien.
What
But
authority,
one of
Arch?
the characters in the early role-playing game named Aragorn.
That's right. When we were talking with Bubbles, he posted picture links of like literal characters that were named after like Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit.
I wasn't Bubbles. What's wrong with you?
Or is it you? Fuck, you're both the same person, anyways. Whatever.
There is, like, in the ancient ass source books from Rogue Trader too. There's like characters named like Robinson Crusoe, Sherlock, etc. They're blatant references because they were a better time when people could have fun with shit.
It was more parody, actually. Like I'm ragging on it just to be funny, but like in reality, it's more of a parody reference. Like the Aragorn thing, references to Lord of the Rings characters, wasn't done out of hatred or things of that nature. That's actually purely done out of passion, because back then Warhammer was written by people who were more passionate about it and cared about it deeply. Now the people that write for it
was
don't
done
care.
because they were like, hey, this thing's cool. This thing's cool, right?
Oh,
yeah,
God.
this thing is cool.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Chat suggests that we review the cartoon for the Battletech thing. Now, they specifically said me, but I think it's... Honestly, Arch is getting into Battletech. It's a great introductory series.
I think you review it. I'm telling you what's good about it.
It's like an 80s cartoon, you know? Just like G.I. Joe. Like, those were great, right?
I can't watch that old shit.
It's so bad, help me.
It is.
You dare refuse my patrol? Refuse me or what? They attacked my home planet. The cringy line. No. That was before my time. I have no soft spot for that stuff. I look at that, and I'm glad Battletech is acknowledged that as propaganda for children in canon. That's better. It's not actually canon, but it is canon in universe. Propaganda for kids. And I think the Lyran Commonwealth, or somewhere up there, if I remember right. I don't remember.
There you go.
Tragedy.
Silly Mech Warrior. Silly Mech Warrior. Nami's husband says, hey, Arch and Kibbs, the tide calls blessing be upon you. Do you like Samus? I would have to crossover pick in the link in the chat below. Oh, crossover? Samus? Kyle, do you like Samus?
Samus. From Metroid?
Yeah, presumably. Samus Aran.
I thought she was hot when I was little, and I still think she's hot.
I thought she was a man when I was little.
Me too.
I didn't think he was hot.
Me too. And then the armor, like, but the thing is that I played Metroid, like, Fusion and stuff like that. Like, that was the stuff I grew up on. And then I learned that she was a girl, and I was like, wow, she's fucking hot. And that made me go, like, as a little kid, I was like, wow. Cute.
Women can wear armor. It's weird.
They can fight? No, I'm kidding.
Tiny little bigoted kid for the first time in his life was like, they're used for something different than bullying.
I actually had, I wasn't sure if it was a person or a robot, actually. That was what I was confused by. Because the fact that it turns into like a little ball is like, yeah, that can't be a person. Because as little me is like their organs
would go snappy.
Like even I had the concept of that as a little child. I was like, yeah, no, they're dead. That's a robot. And then the armor fell off, and I'm like, never mind. Flexible.
She can twist in interesting ways, apparently.
Very.
She's very flexible. Mike Merchant says, damn it, Arch, just saw your Death Rider of Krieg video. Now I've been spent all day trying to recreate one in Pathfinder 2nd edition. Just have a horse and a long sharp stick and you're good. Though you do need to put an explosive at the tip of the stick. Very important. The Grizzly says, hey Arch, what do you think it will take to get Warhammer have sensible rules again? The ability rules, commando points, and hero abilities kind of destroyed the strategy of the tabletop game. Well, the problem is, it was introduced when GW thought it would be a good way to earn money. Literally, that was the entire point of the stratagems, which is why many of the stratagems were blatantly overpowered, but required you to purchase certain incredibly expensive models. Weirdly enough.
I'm not
Honestly,
surprised.
they need to head back to their roots a little bit, I think. Just chill the hell out and just rework stuff from the ground up, and then add on army books, like additional books. Go like, here, this is the base rules, and then you can add on this. Like, this is a book full of battle strategies, and this is tactics and abilities. And then you can kind of curate it a little bit in accordance to the game.
Yeah,
nice.
you can sort of customize it, because BattleTech has different rule sets for the game, and it's very compartmentalized, so you can basically add more stuff and make it more complex, like running on asphalt. Like, if a mech stops, you got a rule to make sure you don't slide and fall on your ass, you know? They could add more complexity, but you can turn it off if you don't want to play with those rules. You don't have to. A nice feature, I think.
The chat is now discussing cartoon waifus of the bygone years. April O'Neil is probably the best waifu. Let's just all be clear about that, because she knew what her primary assets as a reporter were, and she was not afraid to show them off.
See, I never saw that as a kid. I remember people going like the video game was fun, and I remember people would reference pizza, and that April O'Neil was hot. And that's about it.
April O'Neil had balls almost as big as her breasts. Like, imagine walking around as a reporter in real life in a bright, glowing yellow jumpsuit. Oh, heavens. And that wasn't even supposed to be like work clothing. That was supposed to be just like, yeah, these are my regular clothes. But considering this is also in a city that can't spot giant walking humanoid turtles if they put on a trench coat, I guess it's fair enough.
I mean, it's certainly an idealistic view of journalism. It's a shame it's not real. Oh, tragedy. Tragedy for humanity.
Don Pete XS says a juicy brown waifu still lives in our hearts, Arch. Good. Espinosa deserves to continue to live at least a little bit.
She'll be remembered as the true... Honestly, I bought the source book for that faction, okay? House Serrano, and I read through it. It's garbage. And the worst part is, I think it's canon. Oh, I hate it. Don't add factions into the lore that don't make sense.
They shouldn't have made that source book, but they should have produced hog pillow waifus out of brown delicious waifu. Yes.
I mean, that works.
Big real life hog pillows. Yes. All of the other characters can jump down a blender, but except for that one.
Except for that one. Arch is like, I will save you. Oh man, the BattleTech video game characters are so poorly written for the HBS game. It's gave me terminal cancer.
The story was lacking.
That's an understatement. Oh man, what a shame. The intro though, the intro cinematic for HBS BattleTech chat, look it up. It's really good, and it captures this like dramatic theme of the universe and that this sort of like sad decline and like sort of gloom that it has. That was perfect. That trailer sold me. It's a shame the game wasn't like the trailer though. It's got a decent score.
Shame. It's a shame it wasn't a dating sim. All that stupid RTS shit getting in the way. Didn't like
RTS, no. Arch, come on, you're hurting me now. Come on. You know better.
Purpose.
He's like, real-time strategy. It's a turn-based game.
Don't care. All that stupid gameplay got in between me and my wife.
Turn-based tactics. And gameplay, I'm pretty sure I've heard you say several times that you thought was quite nice.
Well, you hear many wrong
things. He's like,
I've
changed my mind.
Way too much gameplay getting in the way of my VN dating sim.
Typical Barch. Always horny. God, you should have seen him in the last night's drunk stream. He may not have been drunk in the stream, but boy, was he horny. Holy shit. Impressive.
Incorrect. I was presenting alternative punishments to our modern day incarceration system, which have failed so many of our brown and black brethren.
God damn it. Just he was so horny, in fact, that Giggles is drawing a hentai of him and Bubs, and it's
Only after
It's
much prodding from you, mind.
listen, it's very appropriate considering how thirsty you were yesterday. Damn, this boy's been in the Sahara Desert. I'm telling you, Chad, he was thirsty.
Kyle is misrepresenting my ideals frighteningly so.
I don't think I am. I think I'm spot on.
I think you are a dirty, lying son of a
Son of
dog.
who?
427R Duck says, gotta say, last week's episode was inspiring as hell. Really energized me in my attempt to create my own fantasy franchise. I may be biting off more than I can chew, but I'll never know if I don't try. That's true.
That is
you will never know
true.
if you don't try. You have to make it, you have to give it a go. Maybe it doesn't go anywhere, but maybe it does go somewhere. And if it does go somewhere, then you can thank me. Yes.
Yes, you'll have to give us shout outs and carry our fat asses to victory. Come on, chop
Yes.
chop.
Black 1917 says, hey, Lord Christ, our Lord and Savior. You forgot Fluffy. Herr Kibbs, here's the new pencil.
Oh, shit. Another one. You know, that pencil meme is spread onto our Discord server pretty hard. There's a fine lad named Strato who always wants revenge for being plastered by Arch and I when we played floaty boats. And Strato, there's a new meme about Strato. It's a picture where it says, like, slaps cock. This cock can fit so many pencils. Where is it? Oh my god, I hope Smashton sent it to me. Thank God I have
You
it.
disgust me.
I
You
have
truly
it.
do.
I'm sending it to you, and I'm sending it to the other account so I can open it. Alright, there you go. It's a lazy meme, but it's so funny.
You
The
truly are the worst. And
Listen.
God will punish you.
The community's having fun
I'm
with
not
the
listening to you, Kyle. You degenerate mongoloid.
Slaps cock. This baby can fit so many pencils.
Hurt him, chat. Hurt him now.
Eee.
Scarfy the Strange says, Arch Battletech Channel 1. You mean Mech Warrior. And soon. Mech Warrior will be the next franchise that Arch will do good things for and make great again. David O'Donovan says, if you type, these are the 10 wildest zoo animal escapes, the thumbnail is a SWAT team taking on a tiger. Imagine a T-Rex. Well, they'd probably just shoot it, frankly. I'm pretty sure T-Rexes aren't immune to bullets, in reality. So John says, what rights do troons not have that everyone else has? I am confused. Troons? Carl doesn't understand either.
Listen, I'm too busy admiring these pencils. It's like, damn.
Boag says, I am like so totally like scared of Valley Girl.
Boog's hole. He can't even see out of it. Boog, are you... What's that? You're... Is he peeing on the other... He's quite
You're
deep.
too soft and weak to punish him, and he knows it. He's pushing his advantage like a true chad. Green Frog Bad says, Kibbs, Breed, and Swede. Formerly Bucks. Bread? He's bred and Swede. He probably does have some Swedish blood in him. Or Irish. I think Irish.
No.
Not ashamed says, if you cheat and win, you still won. 2020 proved that whoever said cheaters never win were losers. YouTube, I am not saying anything, nor am I making any suggestions as to the veracity and fairness of a certain election. Except for the 2016 one, YouTube, which scoring some points here was totally rigged.
No, you didn't say anything. You didn't say anything. Arch didn't say nothing. He's just a happy little Biden voter. He's like, yeah.
No, I mentioned the 2016 one specifically, so it's fine.
Okay.
Canadian Anistan, I am indecisive. What should I get for dinner? Cheeks.
That's not gonna be the food that he's looking for. How about a hamburger?
Pig cheeks. No, pig cheeks. Like, you can have some nice pig ham. Slices
Some ham?
of nice pig ham.
Ham sandwich. Ham
That's
pizza?
not dinner,
That'd be
though. Ham on pizza, it can kind of work, but it also
Yeah,
can kind of not
you'll need some other things to support the ham, I think.
to support the ham.
Ham needs fire
Slap the
support.
ham.
uh,
Lupu says, I can't wait for Arch and Razor to have the Warhammer talk. It'll be great. He'll bring up Michael Moorcock and I'll bring up children's cartoons from the 80s. Yeah, we're both awful.
that's terrible.
Fappy the Clown says, howdy to my favorite Finnish YouTuber. I'll take that over Swedish. Arch, I want to say I've always loved your historical videos and I hope to see more of them in the future. Then you will be happy.
He's gonna be very happy.
You best watch those historical videos, because if I don't see 40, 50,000 views in the first day, you're shit out of luck. Shit out of luck. Not Ashamed says, best mecha cartoon, Exo Squad. I think it was, oh god. What was the name of the one Battletech took a lot of inspiration from again?
Macross, I think. In terms of art design, there was a lot of references to Macross mechs.
Yes, there was a lot of early Macross, but there was another one too that was very like
I'm terrible with the old mecha anime stuff because I've seen like a couple of them. Don't watch Robotech, by the way. That was cursed. I think that was a knockoff of something else, but it was like poorly edited together. Oh my god. Very disjointed.
Now Macross too. That is that is some old school shit there. Some good old school shit too.
I mean, if you like Macross, there's like an entire sector in the Inner Sphere where it's very much like that.
Yep. They've kind of tried to bring it a little bit back too, but that was the kind of special retardation which only really works in a very specific time period, honestly. If they were to bring it back now, they would have to make it a little bit too serious. I mean, they tried Macross Frontier, which kinda worked, but very much so kinda. They didn't go hard enough in either direction with Frontier, honestly. They didn't make it cringe enough or serious enough. It kind of hit this weird middle ground, which was like a little meh. The power of singing. Nyan, nyan, nyan,
What?
nyan,
Oh my god, that was a thing in the anime, I remember. Where
yes,
she's like
the
singing.
power of song.
And it's like, meh, meh, meh. And I'm like, that's kind of, like that, like, artistically sounds cool, but in execution is cringe.
We'll stop the war by singing. Come on, little green lolly girl. Sing at them loudly. And it worked.
So like,
Man, I wish they would get on with the fucking Patlabor reboot. Because they've been teasing that for years now. I mean, I'm really hoping they do it, because Patlabor was a lot of fun.
Paddleboard, I think I've seen that on Twitter. I think somebody posted some stuff from that.
Patlabor was cool. It was really cool. Oh, well.
What do you mean, oh well?
Sujard says, has the Powerball thing ever been elaborated on for Samus? Not as far as I know. I think she just breaks herself into pieces and then turns a ball. Sujard also says, I deeply want a Battletech game where you can start as a mech warrior or lance captain and work your way up to a mercenary commander, having dropship combat to creating your own periphery nation. That could be cool.
That would be cool.
That could be really cool.
Carving out a territory in the periphery. Be like, I am king now.
Then again, you're going to have to mix in mech combat with RTS combat or turn-based combat or something like that. And that's going to be a nightmare because you're basically going to have to make 3 games. You're going to have to make a mech warrior game. You're going to have to make a strategy game. And you're going to have to make a management game.
And they all need to be on par. Because if one is lacking, the whole game is going to suffer for it.
Yep.
That's the difficult thing about it.
A little bit of PP.
That's also going to be extremely complicated to develop because each gameplay aspect needs to be fleshed out enough to be satisfactory to play in that era or that section. That's the difference when making multiple game modes. Like when working on a video game, if you make a mini game or like a different aspect of the combat or how warfare works or like a warfare mini game or tabletop war game, it has to be as good, if not better, than the base combat system. Otherwise, people are just going to be annoyed by it. Like, cringe. They're just going to get tilt. And that's not going to be good. It's a slippery slope where you're going to start losing and players are going to get player fall off. Not good.
Yep. PBR Street Gang says, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. Oh, very creative of you.
Little cheater.
The Grizzly says, I also saw you on Race Stream last night. Would you guys do a collab together on Battletech? That would be a great thing to listen to. Maybe. Nami's husband says, hey Arch, please search the Tidecaller and the Hunter. First link on Reddit. The Tidecaller and the Hunter. Google. Tidecaller Volaron. I get no picture.
See, being the tanks mech warrior could also be cool, because the tanks are just as viable as the mechs. That's something that's often overstated in the video games that make the tanks look like fucking paper mache. They're not.
A little bit of Monster Girl hentai, always appreciated, of course. They're censoring the Monster Girl wiki now, by the way, which sucks a lot of ass. And it's like, well, you can't have Monster Girls on our Wikipedia pages. Why not?
Oh yeah, I heard about that happening. Which Wikipedia thing or group is that happening to?
Fandom or something like that.
That's actually kind of terrible. This is actually, you know what's funny? Raging Golden Eagle, we had a conversation about him. The centralization of platforms like Reddit and stuff like that for things is nice at first until they start alienating people. Absolutely spot on there.
And God, I hate the fact that this is so fucking cyclical. This is so absolutely cyclical. We get an age of puritanical bullshit, followed by an age of liberty, and then we just start over again. And we've been heading in the puritanical direction now for the last decade or so. Like, you can't... Monster Girls. We can't have filthy pornography here. Like, oh, come on. Like, Jesus, seriously. It's the internet in the year 2021. Search anything on Google, and you're probably going to have an enormous pair of tits banging away. Hate it. Hate it. Canadian Astan says, which do you like better, Age of Sail or Age of Dreadnoughts? Age of Dreadnoughts. Despite it just being like a beta right now, definitely Age of Dreadnoughts. Because Age of Sail kind of failed in the most important aspects of making the sailing combat fun, because the AI couldn't handle the combat. And so every encounter ended up as a little retarded clusterfuck, where your navies would just ram into each other because you were fighting at such close range. Age of Dreadnought does an amazing job of that, where the navies will stay at realistic long ranges and fire at each other. It's really good. I am looking forward to the campaign beta, which they claimed would come out this year, but, you know, Game Labs and promises.
Yeah.
Libu says, actually, I think this might be for Kyle.
Hold on, I was putting your Discord link, because I'm not sure... Somebody was just trying to get into the Discord, and I was like, mine or Barch's? So I just posted both. There's a link for both. If you want to go to Arch's server, there it is.
Go on, Kyle. Read it out. You know you want to.
You sent me something? Oh, God.
Huh?
Let's take a look. That doesn't say it's for me, actually. It's just... Oh, God. Nyan, 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 nyan. Ni hao. Nyauth. God help me.
That's pretty terrible. Good enough.
God help me.
Emo Utaku says, Macro 7 flying fortress with guitars. I did like the idea of the whole Macros being a fortress, though. That's kawaii as shit. It's like, let's have giant robots, and then let's have really giant robots. Yes. Yes. Those were always my favorite Transformers. The truly retardo enormous ones. They never could explain why they weren't just a single-handed war winner, though. Like, the Autobots had... I don't remember his name, but he was just this titanic dude that guarded, like, their landed Ark spaceship. Why is there any war with the Decepticons on Earth when they are the only ones that have one of these giga cunts? Like, you could probably wipe the Decepticons out single-handedly.
Oh, we talking about Transformers stuff. Yeah, the Transformers war is actually kind of interesting. Like, they made that one video game, and then they pulled it from Steam, and I should have bought it when I had the chance. War for Cybertron, apparently it was good.
But you didn't, you little
I made a
dumbass.
mistake, because, like, a part of me is like, when Transformers, I was like, you know, like, it's got that one cringy actor in it. But then I'm like, well, it's an older IP, and there's more to it than that. I shouldn't just judge it like that. Because it's before my time. And I looked into it, and it's kind of interesting. Like, big giant mechs beating the shit out of each other in this massive intergalactic war.
Old school Transformers is really cool. Modern day Transformers is the cringiest cancer that has ever cancered.
Yeah, it's bad. And it's just, like, explosions and CGI for the sake of it. None of it has any point or meaning behind it.
And those two incredibly racist random robots. Those. Why?
Why are they so stereotypically, like, you know...
I don't know. They
What's
are
the
so
word?
weird. They are so out of left fields.
It's like, why are you doing that? And
Yeah.
it's like, I
This
don't...
one. Why is this a thing?
Oh my god, I'll open it up. Hold on. That is terrible.
Oh, and there were two of them. They were. I.
Oh god, he's got a gold tooth. I never noticed that. Oh, that made it worse.
Yes, he does have a gold tooth. Oh Jesus, I do not understand the logic of those Transformer movies. They're just something to be ignored. That's all anyone ever needs to know about them. Lubu asks, will you play the Overwatch-styled Gundam game?
Oh yeah, the release is something
Maybe.
like
I
that.
didn't even know of that happening. Is that a thing?
Boog,
That sounds
link.
kind of cool.
Send me a link on my kid's account. I'll pull it up for stream.
Yes, send him a link, because that actually does sound mildly intriguing, honestly. Mark Shane for another $20. Thank you very much, sir. My guilty pleasure for mecha games, Genome and the RTS Dominion Storm over Gift. Terrible control scheme, but had great mechanics such as changing your IFF code to match enemy and hijacking other mech vehicles. I do not think I have ever heard of or played those.
What's that game called again?
Dominion Storm over Grift.
Dominions. I'm gonna pull it up for chat.
Genome. Yeah, even looking at them, I have never heard of or seen these games.
What the fuck? Is it a tabletop game? No, it's a video game.
That's PC.
Some sort of
Yeah.
almost looks like a real-time strategy game.
The Dominion one is, yeah. Man, yeah, no, I have never heard of this.
Let's
This
check
is
GOG.
some old stuff.
Maybe it's on GOG, like KK&D is on there. And that's a fun little RTS.
KK&D. That one was cool.
I do like how the robot's like,
Shoot
we's just trying to farm. So they got mad.
I really did love the cutscene where the mutants and the humans are about to clash in lethal conflict, and then the robots just nuke all of them. Like, that's for fucking killing our crops, you savage cunts.
The campaign victory for the Rebits is funny. I have no idea what that IP is. See, Elbrum goes on and on about this thing called Lancer, and I don't know what it is. Like, beyond it's like, it's a thing that exists.
Oh, there you go. It's a thing that exists.
Which says nothing about it, and anything about
Good
it.
enough.
I need to know more about it, but you have to talk to me at an opportune time, Elbrum, with your silly little cheeky-breaky profile picture.
Glowy says, don't forget many parts of GW lore stole from Elric fantasy books. Basic copy-paste stuff. They did, but again, everybody does steal a little bit from something. The primary sin of GW is being steely little shits and then daring to copyright other people for it. That's the thing. That's the true asshole move. I don't care that you took inspiration from something, but don't you dare then be the assholes like, yes, we only exist today because other people didn't sue us into oblivion, so now we're going to sue you. No.
So they return the favor in kind and let people have parodies of things? No, they'll attack everyone. There, Boog sent it
Yeah,
to
no.
you.
That makes them very, very bad people. And they should be
Sending it
super ashamed of themselves.
to you. There you go. And sending it to me.
Loopy also asks, will you play SRW 30th Anniversary? Now on Steam. Yeah, if you shorten the name, you're going to make it damnably difficult for me to know what the hell you're talking about. I am looking at Steam right now. Axis and Allies 1942.
What?
That's what he asked for.
Wait, what? The board game just came
Gundam
out?
Evolution coming 2022. That is some hard WAP right there. I mean, that looks kind of cool. Looks really stupid too, but looks kind of cool.
What's it called? SRW?
Uh-huh.
I get nothing on Steam. Super Robot Wars. That's what he means to say.
Probably not. Never been into Super Robot Wars. Might play a little bit of the Gundam one though, just because Gundam is a little bit of a kawaii franchise. Kawaii franchise. Canadian Stan says, one last one. What are your thoughts on War Machine by Privateer Press? Thanks for being entertaining. I decided on Thai food. Weak of you when ham was on the menu. Privateer Press, War Machine. I don't really know enough about it to comment. I do know they made that incredibly unpopular video game that nobody liked. So there's that. But I'm sure they're good people. They've overplayed their hands, and nobody's been able to do the marketing like GW has. Nobody's been able to build an audience like they have, and nobody seems interested in building an audience like they did. That's the problem. We need more of them to get out there and actually do something and not be afraid of their own bloody shadows. Paul Gozer says, Attack on Titan memes should be created for Democrats who love to throw blacks into jail. Oh, I mean, for slave labor. Remember, Joe Biden imprisoned most amounts of blacks in U.S. history via 94 crime bill and friends with KKK member and Jim Crow supporters. Well, he's Biden. He might have. Chloe says, like, everyone should, stop making, fun of, kids, speech problem, because that's, picking on, a disabled person. Like and subscribe, ArchCast. Do like and subscribe, Valley Girl, like. I enjoyed that I've made this a thing now. It's another thing for Kyle to know, to look at and know that Arch did this to me.
I just added to the various things I'll be having to call on you. Instead of Arch giving a fair and balanced review of our game when it's done, I'll be like, Arch, you'll be simping hard, faking it, hamming it up, and it'll be obvious to chat that you're not telling the truth. You'll be like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever done. In fact, so amazing, I'm going to have to kill myself.
Probably like
the noose is around your neck. Oh no, the chair, there you go. He's dead. Kill them.
Chloe says, everyone should stop. Oh, there, I read that one, but I should read it again because it was kind of funny. Paul Gozar says, remember, guys, Southern District of New York and FBI raided Project Veritas. They did. So the District of New York is capital of political persecution, where coincidentally political figures always get prosecuted there, and allowed Jeffrey Epstein. It was Epstein. Epstein didn't Epstein himself. Didn't he, though? Didn't he, though?
Didn't he?
The fact that YouTube hasn't banned anyone from speaking of it suggests to me that maybe he did Epstein himself. Possible. IDW, you are my new favorite subscriber. Just so you know that, by the way. IDW says, IDW, Danya, will adopt me, Shikikan. Will adopt me. IDW is best girl, okay? She's best girl. She is best girl. She's a common. She pops up a little bit too often, yet I still leveled her to max in that game, and I still played with her the whole way through, because IDW is adorbs. Simple as. Even bought her skins.
Yep.
IDW, good girl.
She's in the Running with Rifles mod too, I remember. IDW, yeah.
IDW, Daniel. She's a good girl. She might even be best girl. HK416, it does give her a little bit of a running, though. But IDW, probably best girl. Probably best girl. And finally, Mr. Coconut132 says, here's a fiver, check out Brigador. Thank you very much. And
Oh, Brigador. It's a twin stick game.
Not the biggest fan of twin sticks.
Yeah, I kind of am the same, but the Brigador game was very much passionately made. And it's actually pretty good.
To hunt down and destroy the government. Okay, you got my interest, I guess. I mean,
you'll be committing war crimes. Like, if you read the lore and the dialogue and stuff in this game, like, it's kind of dark. It is definitely an interesting game, and it's kind of a little bit niche because it is a twin stick, but don't dismiss it so quickly. Like, I've only played a little bit of it, and I have more time than that. But I haven't played it since it came out because it's one of those games I kept pushing back. I'm like, meh, I'll play it more when it's done. And then, you know, it got done, but I was busy at the time.
Well, Kyle will play it then.
What about Barch? It's on sale, 55% off. Not bad.
Look at it.
Not a bad deal for $9 bucks.
$9 bucks. Like, stop it. Like. Anywho, like the video, like right now, like, because otherwise, like, I'll stop making them, like, out of spite, like. Thank you very much for watching, like, and have a good day. Good idea. Good day, like. I can't figure out a way to segue into more likes here. Damn. Anyways, thank you all for watching. Thank you all for donating. You've all been super generous as always. And listen, the Christmas seasons are going to come up soon. You're going to have to be even more generous so that I can buy gifts for people or just hoard it all for myself. Either way, like, have a good day.
I hate you.